swag?
Dad swag?
Dad swag.
Good morning, people kind. Welcome back to Fresh, Slick, and Mick. This is episode 9 of Windsor, Ontario's finest modern millennial bro down, where the Java is hot and your daddy is not. What's up, boys?
What's cracking lagging?
I drank all my tea, so nothing's hot anymore.
Nothing's. Yeah, my coffee's actually gone too, but I'm anticipating the coffee to come.
Oh, and it will be hot.
That will make it a good morning.
It will be hot. A good morning.
Yeah. How we doing, fellas?
Well, I'm doing actually pretty good today. Good weather, not too hot. That rain really cooled everything off for me in my unair-conditioned house.
Mickey, you always, like, whenever I ask how you are, you always basically just talk about the weather. I don't know if you have noticed that.
Do you not know that as an old man trapped in a not-so-old man's body, that of course I'm going to talk about the weather?
That's true. That's just like a standard old person thing.
It
to talk
affects
about.
him, like, every day.
Well, yeah. I'm just one step away from complaining about my joints and the weather correlation.
Do you do that? I feel like you do that sometimes.
Well, not on the show yet, but we got time.
Well, you set it up.
Here it comes.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, my knees.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, no, I'm doing all right. I mean, you know, as best as I can. I'm about to make some life changes, right?
Got these fire music projects breaking off, dog.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. For sure.
Or are we keeping it on the DL?
On the DL, bud.
Why? Why don't you want to get hyped up?
Because I don't get hyped up, man. I'm just chill. I don't care.
Yeah, he's, by the way, grinning from ear to ear right now.
Yeah, all right, whatever.
Overall, though, sorry, I've been okay. Just, you know.
Better than last week?
Yeah, but just a lot of things on the mind, you know.
Fair enough.
So.
You got to manage.
How are you, Fresh?
Bro, I was listening to, what was it?
I don't know.
Episode 8 for Edit Notes on the way over here. And it was the part where we were talking about manners and etiquette. Mm-hmm. And first of all, we pretty much one took that episode. There's like nothing. It's cool. This was like the first time we did that. Nice. But as we're talking about manners and etiquette, I look over and there's this dude aggressively throwing a cigarette butt out his car window. And I realized that is something I find disgustingly rude. Yeah. Because normally I'm just like, whatever, rude doesn't mean anything. And I was like, yeah, that was fucking rude, you bastard.
That's what I do.
Just throwing darts out the window?
All day.
It's so bad for the environment.
And it's bad for bikers, man.
So is smoking them.
So as he takes a drag.
Whatever, man.
Well, my buddy
I know, I do want to stop. On a serious note, every time I do toss one, I'm like, oh, fuck. It just kills me a little bit, but like at the same time, I'm like, but I don't want to reach in that awkward ashtray and like just like put your hand in the ash. It's weird. You're not a smoker. You don't.
Yeah,
get it.
I'm trying to understand
it, right?
it.
But like, I could show you one day. I will show you one day what I mean. You'll agree with me. But the easy solution is just quit. Anyway.
All right then. But also last night I went to poetry reading. That was pretty dope.
Dope.
It was
How
good.
was it? Good?
I did my thing. I enjoyed it. It was kind of wild though, man. A couple of really strange things. So first thing, for the first time ever, a friend actually recorded me, like just a quick little small snippet.
Yep.
And I look so angry. So angry.
That's how you look like all the time.
All the time though.
Pretty much. Like you're a very unapproachable dude.
Well, he has a stern look.
Yeah, a stern
look,
and then you got the tats, right? Like, so it's just kind of like, and you got the hair, and you're just like, do I want to talk to that guy?
That's like what Elmo says. I look like a criminal.
Yeah, right, criminal. Like the guy might just stab me and not even say a word, right? I don't know, but I know you, so I know you're not like that. But yeah, you look pretty pissed or stern.
He's brandishing a knife right now.
Yes, I guess that's a good idea. I don't know. It just messed me up because I'd never seen myself like that ever, right? So when I'm animated and that's when I'm doing my poetry thing of like I'm in the zone. This is where I like to be.
Yeah.
So even though it was kind of an intense piece and whatever, I still feel good about it. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh fuck! So someone knocked that asshole out.
Do you have like a poetry resting bitch face but angry?
I just have a resting bitch face.
Yeah, for sure.
But then also. So besides that, my friend did a reading. She did a really good one. But there was this dude. He was like going like a hype man, but he was in the back, and he was like, "Whoa, yeah, get him, like this, right?" Yeah. Except he was the whitest white boy in history, but his eyes were like thin bands of white. You couldn't even see. That's how fucked up he was.
No.
So apparently, I found this out after, but apparently, because I have kind of like a rapping-ish style
Right.
when I do my thing. So at that moment, even though they had been there for a few other poets, at that moment, he fucking went over to the host and signed up when I was up there.
My goodness.
Yeah, because I don't know, because I guess he's
got
a
something.
rap guy.
He's a rap guy.
And then he goes up and he does this freestyle. Now, Mickey, when I say freestyle, you're probably thinking like an off the dome type thing. That's not really what that means anymore.
Okay.
Usually it just means like kind of loose and free and not necessarily structured, but it's generally pre-written because off the dome freestyles were abandoned.
Okay.
It's just what you can actually do with just 10 minutes of writing as compared to what you can do off the top. It's not worth it anymore.
Okay.
So no one does that really,
And
at least not seriously.
You were right to explain that to me because I'm just
know.
going, huh.
So I think it was one of those. And I don't remember what it was. It was like a standard brag rap, whatever, from Mr. South Windsor there. But he said the term pussy lice. And I just lost my fucking
Wow.
mind. So the whole crowd is just like in horror because it's like, what is this fucking dude doing? Like, this is a disaster, right? First of all, don't be uptight like that, right?
Yeah.
Like he's a douchebag, sure, but just whatever. It's an everybody thing.
It's art.
But then he
No,
said
I'm just
that, and
kidding.
I just lost it. So
Pussy lice.
pussy lice, yeah.
That man's either crazy or a genius.
I don't think he's a genius because
No.
after I left, he went over to my friends who were all girls and asked which one of them wants to suck his dick.
Wow.
This was about
Yeah.
15 seconds before they bodily threw him out of the bar.
Oh, yeah, no. So that guy's just fucked.
Just a train wreck of
He's
a
a
person.
train
He
wreck.
was very messed up. Very messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wow. One of those you had to be there things. Like like the
That's-
story was good, but I would have loved to have seen this train wreck of a person.
Well, and I missed the best part, right? But I don't think that's an accident. I don't think he would have done that if I was there, right?
Right.
Especially since I got my beach face.
Face.
I'm gonna go talk to those. Nope. That guy's gonna stab me. Never mind.
Which brings us to our topic for the day: the different components of manliness, such as they are, and how they comprise and butt up against toxic masculinity.
Like beards?
Beards are very non-toxic.
Oh,
Beards are in fact healthy.
I've always felt that a beard is humbling.
Humbling?
Well, just it's.
What?
I know. It might take a little bit too long to explain, but
Yep.
just. Well, no, but just on the front of it. Usually, when you see a person with a beard, sometimes people find them moderately standoffish. But then once you get to know, you go, "This guy's a really cool guy." And on the whole, I find. I'm just gonna stop.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway, there's actually a lot of interesting health benefits to beards. Like it
Yeah.
blocks things like harmful UV rays and types of disease even.
Oh, wow.
Wild, right?
I'm doing good then.
Good job,
Yeah.
beard.
Yeah, good job.
You can
Good
stick
job,
around
fellas.
longer.
That's why I have all the diseases. And you guys
Yeah,
don't.
all of them.
So, as far as toxic masculinity goes, Mickey, you came up with something very interesting. So why don't you give us the brackets within which we will be operating today?
Do we want the brackets first, or would you like me to really start with the definition that I looked up?
Okay, do that.
Okay, so definition. Toxic masculinity is thus defined by adherence to traditional male gender roles that restrict the kinds of emotions allowable for boys and men to express, including social expectations that men seek to dominate, brackets, the quote-unquote alpha male, and limit their emotional range primarily to expressions of anger.
Wow.
Well, I'm already asleep.
Now, that was
Thank
boring.
you.
So let's
Thank
get
you
it.
for that. So let's get into the fun stuff.
So some of the fun stuff I found, and we're gonna go one side to the other.
Okay. Can you source these? Do you know where these came from?
Yes, I have one, and don't laugh too hard at me. Urban Dictionary.
Great.
I wanted to get like
I'm all about it.
I wanted to get like a real people's view on it.
It's just going to turn out that toxic masculinity is like a sex thing that no one knows about.
Yeah, and also Geek Feminism Wiki.
Geek feminine. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it seems
All right.
it seemed like an okay thing. I looked at it for quite a while. So, toxic masculinity and some of the beliefs that. One, men and women are always at a competitive, not a cooperative state. So, just even as a quick example of that, usually when women might say, women getting raped in today's society, and men go, "Oh, men get raped too." It's like, you're not working together here, bro. You're competing now.
Yeah.
Just a quick
Like,
example.
what a horrible response to
Right?
a woman got raped.
Yeah. Well, men too.
Fucking
You know what I
hell.
mean? Men can never truly understand women, and men and women can never be just friends. Quote, real men
That's interesting.
need to be strong, and showing emotion is weakness. Anger is considered okay, though. And then men can never be a victim of abuse, sexual or otherwise. And that's just like the toxic masculinity mindset. Okay? And then we're going to go crazy left field here.
Good.
Which one does this come from?
This one's also from Urban Dictionary,
Oh,
because
perfect.
it was the first one was a shared between Urban Dictionary and Geek Feminism Wiki, but then I just kind of kept scrolling
Oh, so
through.
you put that together?
Yeah, well, because they shared a lot of the same
Okay,
views, just for different wording. So, masculinity. Toxic masculinity. A made-up term by feminists who support the notion that just being male is a bad thing, and in turn, and in turn, allowing the continued hatred of men to support their own agenda and war for supremacy and privilege. I laughed so hard
Jesus
by myself
Christ.
reading that, because it's so bonkers. And like, if toxic masculinity were anything, it might be that mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As outlined.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
it's like a parody of it. Yeah.
just setting up two different mindsets there, and just to see where people may think it is.
What do you guys think about that second one? I mean, obviously it's silly, but like, what do you actually analyze that real quick?
I'd have to read it like a couple times.
Well, here I'll speak while if you want to read over that. I just find it's someone who's very ill-informed or has only ever heard a very, I'm just going to use this just because it's all over the media right now, a very leftist, feminist idea.
Leftism and feminism are not synonymous.
Okay, well, so like a feminazi, when someone only views.
fuck.
No, but seriously, no, and I don't like the word. I don't like the word. But when somebody who doesn't understand it goes, "Oh, this is all they want. These feminazis are just this. They're just that." And blah blah blah. It's like, okay, why don't you take a step back, look at yourself, look at what's actually going on, and then make an informed opinion or a thought process. But just to go, oh, it's just so their own agenda. Like it's a 100% anti-man thing is a very stupid thing to say or think.
Okay, I feel you.
Again, I don't like the word feminazi. I'm just using it as an example.
I got you, buddy.
So pretty much it's just like being a dude is just bad, right? That's what that's saying?
That's what
I just want to be clear of what that is stating.
That's the straw man they're trying to create there
Right.
about the term toxic masculinity. I think it's so obviously problematic because anyone who would define it like that, the people who are going to suffer because of misdefining,
improperly
defining the term toxic masculinity aren't women, they're men. So whatever fucking dude wrote that, probably someone who uses the term betas on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
All right.
I think you're just gonna make fun of me during that segment. I'm just kidding.
He probably thought he was being fucking witty, and it's like, bro, no, because dudes go through some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? I watched a YouTube video recently. It was very interesting. It was a TED Talk.
Always good. Well,
Sometimes,
yeah.
It was a girl who doesn't call herself a feminist anymore just because she was a feminist documentary filmmaker.
Okay.
And she went around for a year interviewing men's rights activists. Now, everybody balks hard when you think of that because they're like those douchebags who are like, they're the ones who are going, well, men get raped too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she said when she actually talked to at least the leaders of most of these movements and she reviewed her footage, because she said when she was doing the interview, she was just like so in the game, she didn't even realize, you know?
Sure.
But when she actually reviewed the footage, she found that she didn't find one thing she disagreed with. I thought that was really cool.
Interesting.
So she stopped calling herself a feminist while keeping all of those beliefs, but also incorporating a lot of the men's rights activists, such as they were, points about the damage that men incurred too. We're already getting really sensitive.
Well,
but
it's important.
that's part of the fucking point.
It is. I mean, we're at a day and age where people have to just realize that equality isn't just, in terms of getting paid equal and all that shit. It's being like treated equal as people and realizing that everybody does indeed have emotions and feelings.
Absolutely.
And it's totally okay to do, like, to have those.
And express them.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's 2018,
Yeah,
right?
bro,
Like,
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it should just be common things. Because if you hold that stuff in or you act away, I've been there, when I was younger.
Sure.
I think probably most guys have.
Yeah.
But if you bottleneck it all up, and then bad things can happen.
Well, because this is a very new thing. Everyone on an emotional playing field is equal, and they should be. And that's, I feel like, a big part of the push that people may not be seeing is men can be emotional too, and women can be stern when they need to be, or whatever their arguments seem to be missing. I think on the big scale that we're not seeing, that everyone's seeing is just the negative stuff of everything on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time. And when you do that, you ignore the positives that come of dealing with those negatives. Because sometimes you just got slogged through the shit, right?
Yeah.
And like, you're going to have ugly cry face. And that's just what's up.
Oh, ugly cry face. Sorry, I just got so many images of just all the ugly cry faces I've seen ever.
All of them.
What about men with beards crying?
Ooh, I'm gonna film myself next time I'm alone in my room.
It's such a contrary image that it's hard to even think it's real.
Yeah.
But again, that's just me fighting against my programming, right?
Right, exactly.
That's tough to do. I'm really thankful for everyone, and it's because of where we're coming from. It has to be someone with the masculine credentials saying that it's okay to deal with your emotions in a healthy way.
Yeah.
For me to believe it. Maybe not so much now. I don't need like a big jack dude. Mm-hmm. But the person who opened this door for me, and it was not even that long ago. It was a couple months ago, guys. Like I'm not a very emotionally healthy person, okay?
Okay.
It was Terry Crews.
Terry Crews,
Terry
baby.
Crews, the fucking man.
He's
Like
a
we've
man.
said.
We want him on this.
It'll happen.
Oh,
It'll
it's
happen.
gonna happen.
Terry Crews will get on this podcast.
Oh, fuck, I hope.
Hashtag Terry Crews.
This is episode 9. It might be episode, 20. I don't know.
20, yeah, right. That's ambitious.
I'm being ambitious. 20,000.
But, okay, can I touch on the emotional part you were just talking about?
Let me
sorry,
just tell my
you
little
have
Terry
more?
Crews story.
Oh, okay,
it's
sorry.
very quick.
Yeah.
He was on Tim Ferriss's podcast, and he tells a lot of his background, crazy stuff you'd never think of. Like he's an artist. He was an artist before he was ever anything else.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh man, he's just such a fucking cool guy.
Yeah, dude, Terry Crews is the fucking man.
But he's
No joke.
he's also got an intense face.
Oh,
and everything.
yeah.
Of course, he's big and jacked, and he's always working out and everything. But when he was telling his story, the whole time he's not. I shouldn't phrase it as self-deprecating because all he's really doing is just admitting his faults, but he's doing it in a funny way. Mm-hmm. So he's telling all these stories about how he was fully part of that toxically masculine mindset and everything. And to listen to him now talk about how he used to be, it was just like, well, fuck, this is absolutely everything I am, you know?
Well, okay, touching on that. On Terry Crews, too, because I've read a lot. I haven't actually listened to him, but I've read a lot on him.
You should listen to that podcast.
Yeah, send me, link me. Anyway.
Again?
What? Again? Yeah.
I linked you that like right after I listened to it.
Now that I care. No, anyway, besides the emotional aspect of things and dealing with your emotions and your feelings, the biggest thing for men trapped in that pool, I think, I guess from what I've experienced and seen, is self-reflection. Admitting those faults and then going about and actually changing them.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard. It's hard, especially when you're in that groove for so long to
I
reflect and
know.
go, what I've been doing is wrong.
Oh, I know. But it's must need. Like, you can't continue unless you want. Like, there are people when I used to go out, go to the dive bars, you'd see those fucking 55-year-old guys, whatever, they're having beer, they work their jobs, they do their thing, right? But they're just there talking about the good old times because they found something they were liked and became comfortable with, and they didn't want to change it. And then typically you look and everyone's life's kind of the same like that, right? It's not anything extraordinary, like the the marriage or whatever, the relationship is kind of just like, yeah, we're together, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's just like the standard shit because people find a comfort level and they don't self-reflect on the things they're doing. Like, oh, maybe going to a dive bar every Saturday, Friday, Saturday, and Thursday is a bad thing. Maybe I should go running instead, right? And switch it up and let your emotions play through your head and how it actually affects you. And instead of pushing them back and ignoring them completely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So self-reflection, I feel, is like the biggest part. If you can get to that where you're actually listening to yourself, you're almost home free.
And you made such a great point there, bro. Look at how complimentary we're being already to each other.
Eh?
This is not common.
No,
I'm just gonna start
never.
calling you guys names
Well,
just to
yeah.
keep it real.
Asshole. We'll just wait till I start speaking, and the
Shut
kindness
up,
will
Mickey.
go
God.
away.
No, but
Play on your tablet.
so even if you don't have a fucking clue what you're doing, you don't know what's wrong with you, you don't know how to change it, but all you've realized is shit, something's not going right, and I need to fix it. Like you said, that's like 75% of it.
That's most of it. Yeah.
It's hard. It's good. It like the other 25% is excruciatingly hard, but getting there,
Okay.
like breaking the wall.
Since I've been there, personally, I was like
Where, downtown?
many times. Growing up as a child, I guess, in my early teens, I only hung out with girls, really, and not in that kind of way. Like I wasn't doing stuff with them. They were literally my friends. They were just my friends.
Yeah,
I had
same.
tons, right? Like, and I was very sensitive, very into art and music and stuff. But I still worked out. I still did all that, lifted weights. Like I could still compete with all the athletic men, right? And then. So throughout high school, I continued that. Like I had stable relationships and stuff, and then I don't know. I've somehow got trapped in that fucking cycle. I can't even tell you the exact
in the
thing.
toxic cycle?
Yeah, like it kind of just happened. I was introduced to partying, then I was introduced to booze, like booze and partying.
How did you escape partying all those years?
What do you mean?
Dude, I got peer pressured into drinking like.
Oh
Fuck, I
it
think
was
I
my
was
friends.
11 or 12.
I was friends
Holy
with the.
shit.
I was
it
friends
doesn't
with
count.
like.
There's nothing to do.
That's true.
I was friends with like all the super nerds, man.
The super nerds drank?
No.
Oh.
No, this is in high school. I didn't drink really in high school, man.
Oh,
Just
I
like
see.
the last year of my high school is when I started.
Right.
Little bits at, only at parties or whatever.
Okay.
But like we were all in band and we were all like, my other friends played video games like Xbox. So our Saturdays were like Dominoes and Xbox Online. That was it. And we'd stay up to like 4 a.m. just doing that.
This still sounds like the best fucking day.
Right, exactly. It still does.
Vegan Dominoes.
But then, yeah. Oh, I hope. Anyway, just because they're so close.
Yeah.
But then I got dragged into the cycle of this toxic masculinity thing. And honestly, a lot of it had to do with I didn't feel like I fit in because I seen all these people and what they were getting out of it, too. Like, athletes being just treated differently, even though they weren't really good people or even really good students at all. And they were being favorited. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe there was something in my brain where I was like, oh, I should be more like these people. And then I slowly started to conform. Anyway, but breaking that took years, like 7, almost 8 years.
How did you, like, at what point did you realize you were down that dark hole?
Many points. But I just kept staying there because it was what I knew at that point. So over the first like 3 years, I was fine. I was good. And then it just kind of got like all I wanted to do is drink and party. And that's what I spent my money on. And I'd go downtown and spend money I didn't have.
So you enjoyed it, though?
I thought I enjoyed it. That's the difference. Because once you do at first enjoy it with your friends and stuff, then you become accustomed to it. So automatically Saturday night, my boy's not working, my other boy's not working, my other boy's not working, T-shirt time, let's go downtown.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's just what you
T-shirt
do.
time.
These are now your friends and your crew, and you're not going to change if they don't want to change.
Well, you
So you're
support each
all-
other's habits.
Exactly. You bounce off one another. Thankfully, I have some really good friends. I've managed to keep with me throughout all of this shit that I've gone through, and I was pretty much right in the hole, right in that black hole, and I knew I was there because people would tell me. Like straight to my face, and I'd just be like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna go have a beer," and and then it just one day, I think it was because I threw up for 3.5 hours off a couple Sleeman Clear, right? Like,
was this last year?
This was last August. I went out, nothing crazy, dive bar. That was my style then, and with 2 buddies, and we drank at my place, went to the bar, had I think like 2 or 3 beers and like 1 shot. And I drank light beer all night. And the next day, dude, the hangover was just
destroyed you.
I was puking for 3 hours. I was like, how is this even possible? Like, I made sure I ate after and drank water because I was already on the downward of partying.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I looked in the fucking mirror, man, and I said, this done. Like, and then since that day, I just haven't drank.
So, to a little bit of my involvement in that life.
Oh, sorry. Before you go,
Yeah,
I
go
must
ahead,
say,
go ahead,
I'm
Mick.
not going to say toxic masculinity is based on alcohol, but for me, alcohol was such a big player.
There's
in that.
something there.
There is 100% because I was there, but alcohol was a very big player for my personal story, so that's why I'm relating it to drinking so much.
Yeah.
So once I stopped drinking, it was weird because for the first couple months I was angry all the time because I was like trying to do other things and I couldn't do the things I wanted right away, but I didn't want to give in and start drinking again.
Right.
And then as time went on, like my emotions started getting fucking clearer, and I started self-reflecting on things I did when I was partying, and like it was a crazy. I'm pretty like level-headed now.
Yeah.
And I can control my emotions much better. Like when somebody says something that pisses me off, I just think about how I want to react anyway, because I'm on that track. But it was a process, man. But yeah, alcohol. Once I quit alcohol and meat, man, it's just kind of cleared me up. And
Meat
just,
too, eh?
Well, the vegan thing I think definitely plays a role in self-reflection and emotion
But you
as
kinda
well,
have to,
because
right?
it is a like you could have the biggest manly man ever, toxic man, and he'd have a fucking dog, right? So there's
Yes.
always even that you have that connection with an animal. So there's always a connection with an animal. So when you really start to look at animals as animals, you kind of get sensitive about it, and then I didn't even go vegan for the animals.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, I don't want to say vegan, conscious eater or whatever.
it's okay.
Plant-based, whatever.
I know where you're at.
For the animals. I did it for health reasons, and then I started getting involved with started researching, and now I'm just like, I
The
can
walls
never,
start falling down.
Yeah, they start falling down, and then you cry a bit at night after you think of all the little piggies you eat.
You talk, yeah,
Little
fuck.
piggy.
You talk about dogs. One of the manliest characters in all of movie history, John Wick. Driven to this insane revenge spree by the murdering of a
dog.
dog he's had for less
Yes.
than a day.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I would argue
love that
there's
movie.
nothing toxic about that.
No,
Because I would also
I would
murder
be
50
fu-
people
oh,
for my
fuck.
dogs.
Yeah, that fucking bothered me. Like that whole killing. Now it just bothers me. And I watched that movie after I went plant based.
Yeah.
And it was like I have that hard time, like that what you showed me. Nature, nature's
yeah.
metal.
Nature's Metal
That's
channel.
hard for me to watch, even though I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
But I just really like all animals.
I know,
man.
I
You
know.
know?
Why can't they all
So-
just get along, damn it?
I often watch that channel, and I'll like the more it disturbs me, the more I force myself to watch it. Except for like the pictures of snakes with like giant shit in their mouth, because that just something about that prevents me from sleeping.
Really? I like
Interesting.
those ones.
It's I can't do. I don't know. It's just there's something wrong. It's like
you do
Cthulhu,
know you do know what those snakes are doing to those animals, right?
They're eating them, yes.
Before the eating.
What are they doing?
Constricting and literally.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
like,
okay.
crush them, right?
No, but it's not that. Like
Oh.
if it was just like a snake wrapped up around something, I mean, yeah, gross. But
No, yeah, he's talking about
I'm talking
when
about
the-
when
yeah.
their jaws are fucking
yeah.
8 feet wide
Oh,
with an
God, yeah,
alligator
it's so
in them.
cool,
Yeah.
man.
It is cool, but I can't.
It's
deal
freaky,
with it.
though.
I
Yeah,
can't
you're right.
deal
It's
with
So
it.
odd.
So Mickey,
Not in a bad way, but just
now, I know you've had your demons, but has this been the sort of thing that ever really affected you? Because, I mean, you've always been the nicest fucking dude. You've never come across as, unnecessarily aggressive or putting on a front to me. But I don't really know. Maybe previous to that, maybe aside from how I've known you.
I guess if we go back to kind of growing up, I was a very shy person. I had one or two friends at a time. They, I don't want to, sound like a bleeding heart, but I was bullied a lot. The friends I hung out with would beat me up, or so if I didn't want to hang out with them, I'd just sit by myself.
Oh, that's pretty fucking toxic.
Yeah, that's horrible.
But for me, I don't know. As I got older, I was an angry kid. When I got to high school, my first year of high school, I was a dick. But I was more so I was a conscious dick because I said, you know what, I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to be bullied. I will be the standoffish person, so people will leave me alone.
Right.
However,
Relate.
right off the bat. Well, I won't say for the first few months of my first year of high school, my buddy stopped me and said, "Nobody likes you. You're being a dick." And then I reflected. I'm going, so nobody liked me the way I was before. And again, all I was just shy. I was shy and I was standoffish. Not like a scary way.
I'm sorry. I cannot imagine a fucking world in which people don't like you.
I know,
No,
right?
bro.
Isn't it so weird?
Because at your old job, when I'd come in and visit for like 6 hours
Sure.
at a time, and sometimes I'd be behind the counter and they don't even know which one of us to talk to, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'd fucking sit there and it'd be the biggest, most jackedest dudes or little old ladies or cute girls or little kids or whatever. I never saw one person react poorly to you ever.
It's pretty impressive.
It's a past that I had. But when I was brought with that information of you're being a dick and nobody likes you for the way you're acting now, I said, well, I just thought to myself, this isn't how I'm going to be. I'm going to, again, I actually had to consciously think on a daily basis, be nice. Just be nice. Hold the door. Ask people if they want help. Just out of nowhere.
So there was a Mickey who didn't hold doors for people?
Not necessarily now I kind of go out of my way. Back then it was kind of like, you're far enough back. Fuck yourself.
Our old boss, he said, if you
yeah.
have to break stride, it's too long. And I keep to that now.
Yeah,
Unless it's like a
true,
real old
true.
lady or something.
Very
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I do not subscribe to Canadian door holding rules.
Yeah. No.
I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But so as I grew from that, I found I actually got a lot of pleasure from it. I felt good. I felt like a decent person. I felt like I was accepted amongst the people that I was around for the first time in my entire life.
See, you're getting ahead of me here because that's something that I think that's one of the most positive ways to be masculine is to uplift those around you.
Well, yeah, I guess I did do that. I don't know.
Fuck yeah, you do.
I don't want to sound like I'm kind of pooing on myself. Like I'm just being Mickey. It's the only thing I really know now. So, but then I had a bit of a dark time, but it was never really fueled by a mentality of anger towards people or women or anything like that. I still loved people. I just hated myself for whatever reason.
But I've heard you say we probably disagree on certain gender dynamics and things like this.
Sure. Go ahead.
What's a typical female stereotype?
Starbucks.
No, not even
No,
that.
no.
More basic than Starbucks.
So do you want to say
like women can't drive type deal.
okay?
Oh, okay.
It's a fully accurate stereotype. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no.
It's only like 80% accurate.
Sure.
No, but that's the sort of thing. And so maybe you wouldn't use that one, but something like that.
But are you saying that I would
That
say?
I've heard you say stuff like that.
Okay, it's hard for me to kind of to comment when I don't have a particular
Like what
one.
sorts of things? Like women talk too much and women fuck with your head and
I said that?
Oh yeah,
I'm acting
bro.
like a dick.
Maybe
Oh,
this
sorry, I probably
maybe
said
this
it
was
too.
during your bad time.
And that's a big thing too. Like when people say, oh, hey, Sean, remember this particular years of my life? I don't remember. Like there are literal blank slates in my life from the drinking. I don't recall.
Oh, yeah.
So I may have said some pretty dick things, some very not well thought out things, And for anyone listening, and I said to you, I apologize.
Whoopsie.
I didn't mean to air you out like
No,
that.
no, I don't mind.
No, just because we've never actually said what it was you struggled with, and you just said with the drinking.
Oh
so.
yeah, well, and that was it. But I never really had adverse feelings towards people or genders.
You
or,
never
or
had
races.
a misogynistic feeling.
I don't think so. You know what I mean? But with kind of where things are going, it's just certain sectors of feminism say it's ingrained in my brain, and I have to be woke from it and understand that I do it subconsciously. I'm going, but. And now, and when I say, because they say that, I go, men do this, and I go, well, I don't think that
hold
for
on.
sure, but to a degree. But then they go, oh, okay, well, not all men. I go, well, then say not all men, but some men, sort of thing, right?
Even that whole, I struggle with it because that whole not all men thing. That is kind of frowned upon. Because by saying that, you're distracting from the real issue. But I don't want to get into this sort of thing. It's not really the point.
Sure.
I guess I'll just go into my thing. So I had kind of what Slick had, and a little bit of what you had. I was very standoffish. I guess I still am. Apparently, no, I am. I'm a shy introvert at heart, but. I can work a room now. I get it now.
Yeah.
I've mechanically figured out how people work.
You're doing a good job so far.
Oh, thanks, buddy. But I would do shit like Slick saying, like partying, like drinking, going out. I fucking hate that. And ask any of my good friends. I've hated that since I was 17. I've never enjoyed that. Even the ridiculous levels of drinking, even the parts where no one put a beer in my hand and anything, and I took it up. Something in me, it was completely a pride thing.
How so? What do you mean? Like you're thinking I'm better than this, or?
No. I'm thinking like, I'll give an example. This is going back almost 5 years now, but I can remember it. I'm at my girlfriend's house, and we're hanging out with a bunch of her friends, and they started drinking like fucking, I don't know, PBR or some whack ass beer like this or something, right?
Right.
I fucking go I scoff at the PBR that's offered to me.
Oh.
I go to the liquor store, I get some good beer, a fucking case, like I'm 18 again, fucking sit it down in the kitchen and start pounding them back.
My goodness.
It was just all pride. It was just like, I'm not drinking that fucking shit. I'm going to show you fucking losers how to drink.
Well, let's be
pointless. And I didn't want to be drunk. Like, bro, when I drink, if I have one beer, like if I go to poetry night and have one nice stout, good. The second one, by halfway through, my head is pounding and I know I'm going to feel it. Like that hangover you're talking about, Slick, that's me every single time. Every time. But I still did it.
Oh yeah,
Because I had something to prove,
dude. I've
or
been
I was trying to
hungover.
attach to some people, somebody, somehow.
Yeah,
I've probably been hungover for a year total in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like if you put all the times that I was fucking hungover. God! That's what I'm saying though. And now I think of all the fucking wasted time and money, and not only like the 6 or 7 hours you would drink. Well, for me, 12. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I would drink from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. most times.
Dang.
Yeah, bro. I'd go out, party, come back, party. I would party.
See, I
would bring
sat in
people
my
back.
room.
Oh man, it was a fuck show
Right.
for like 6 years.
That's one of Chucky and Boner's notorious ones. Is they would fucking drink together and they would basically try and drink everyone else asleep.
Yes,
and just so it's probably same thing.
dude. It got to a point on Sunday nights. I remember one, me and a buddy.
Sunday nights, my God.
Hey,
Me and a buddy
ends
would
in Y, man.
buy a 60. Wow, that hissed a lot. A 60 of whiskey and drink it, and then while we're watching The Walking Dead, of course, and then we would black out, and then we'd have to rewatch The Walking Dead. That's the point I was at. Or at least I would black out. I don't know if he did, but I would for sure.
Well, I don't know if is that a masculinity thing or just a really bad decision thing.
This is coming from like I guess this is one of the outcomes of being in that cycle for so long.
Yeah, definitely.
Because at that point, I stopped going out and it was more, oh, come over and have some drinks. Come over, or we'll go there, right?
Okay,
So, and
okay.
we'd go to like bars, but not downtown,
Got it.
right? So I feel like downtown was the real masculinity thing.
What was it? Oh, there's so much
it's just
peacocking.
fucking
and-
testosterone pumped into like one.
Yo,
block.
do y'all know the standard downtown uniform?
For men or
Well,
women?
I
Or
don't.
both?
I haven't been downtown in 2 years.
Yeah, it's not a thing for me anymore.
I'm going to
either.
assume men are wearing pop collars and sunglasses on top of their head, even though it's like the middle of the night.
That's Mickey. You just went back to like the early 2000s.
Or my style.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
or like- No, when I was first able to start going downtown, even though I avoided it as much as possible, the standard uniform for dudes was a blue
Button up.
button up
Yep.
with white pinstripes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Blue.
Every
button up.
fucking
Oh,
dude
fuck.
had that
Yep.
shirt.
Interesting.
Dude, I guarantee you, if you were to go down there, 1 of 3 guys was wearing that shirt.
Yeah, you're right, man. I even had one.
There you go.
I had one,
I
bro.
went for
I
the
would-
loop. There's all the punk kids and the.
I was there
whatever,
too with my
the
fucking
off
blue
crowd.
and pinstripe white. Bro, I was dancing
I
on
can
the
see that.
stage. I probably saw you.
Turn up.
Dude, I was at the loop probably every Saturday for like 2 years.
Oh yeah, me too, man.
So yeah, we probably
Yeah.
grinded on each other some shit.
No problem.
Who knows?
I probably bought you a double mud. You bought me a double
Probably,
mud.
you probably brought me like 8. I'd at least drink like 4.
One of the weirdest nights of my life was at the fucking loop. And I must have just been heroically drunk because it was one of the 3 times in
Heroically
my
drunk.
life.
Is that a toxic masculine comment? In all seriousness.
No.
Okay.
It's hyperbole because there's nothing heroic about just slamming back a ton of booze.
Nope.
Sidetrack me, bro.
Sorry, bud.
So I'm just blasterfied, and I know how bad it was because I was dancing. Now,
Oh,
anyone who knows
what?
me knows that this doesn't
I
happen.
just look at you. You're like that guy. Don't
yeah,
dance.
that guy does not dance. Eddie Griffin has a bit where he talks about certain types of people in the clubs.
Right.
And he's talking about, like, you look and you see that super thug, and he's not dancing, but he's got a little bit of rhythm in his steps, so he's just like, do, do, do. Do, do, do. You can hear the rhythm. It's nice and slow as he
Yeah.
walks, and he's just walking through the club praying, God, please don't let me kill anybody.
That's you.
But that's how I felt because I was there, and it'd always be the only reason I'd ever be in those situations would be for like someone's birthday or like a crazy event or something. And you gotta make an appearance. You know what I
Trivia
mean?
night.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
trivia nights.
I know.
I just like trivia.
Yeah.
But I'd just be ice grilling the whole time.
Really?
So anyway, there's one night at the loop, I'm blasted. I ended up dancing with this girl who I later dated. Chucky pushed us together. He literally, because he was hunting some ass, so he grabbed her and he grabbed me to get us both out of his face. And he's like, "What did he say?" He's like, "You guys both like City and Color."
Oh,
What the fuck?
that's awesome.
I kind of do. I
And that's
guess.
how I met
I
your
love
mother.
Chucky.
Yeah, exactly. No, still a good friend of mine though.
There you go.
Oddly enough, yeah, dating didn't work out like it never does.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, that was a silly loop story. So, toxic masculinity has to be defined in comparison to real masculinity. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the good things that make a man.
Okay, positive traits. Being self-sufficient, I feel, is a positive masculinity trait, but like in a good way. Like not, I can drive to McDonald's and get a Big Mac self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think there's anything self-sufficient about that.
Yeah, driving a car
But-
and having money. That's self-sufficiency,
Oh, for
but that's
fuck's
only
sakes.
limited to
Oh, when you break it down.
That's only limited to society, really.
Okay.
Right? So I would be talking more of like being able to do things yourself the right way.
Being handy type
Being
deal?
handy,
Measure twice, cut
growing,
once.
yep, growing food, anything around the house,
Mm-hmm,
really. Just being able to do it and to have the knowledge. It's really not, I'm not going to say it's not hard, but to just have a basic understanding of things.
Sure, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Definitely a masculine thing. Like
Yeah.
people want a guy who's they call it a handy man for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Handy
Yeah.
person.
Handy person.
People kind.
Handy people kind.
Well, I remember.
Now-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, another one, if you have a child, be a fucking dad.
So what makes a person a good dad as opposed to just a non-denominational parent? What makes them a good dad? Like what can't a mom do?
Well, it's not really. see, that's hard to say because I feel like physically men can't do all the same females can.
Sure.
But emotionally, a man can still develop the same kind of bond with their child.
Fuck yeah.
You know? Even though they carried him, so there's that. We'll never know how that feels. I'm not even going to touch on that because I'm sure it's something we don't even come close to understanding. Anyway, so what makes a good father, right? That I don't know if I can say anything that the woman can't do. The mother. It's all depends on the personality.
Let me prompt you because I was reading from.
Don't forget your kid at school. That's like, you know what I mean? I'm not even joking. Like, I've never forgot to pick up my kid. I don't know how people do it. I get it, you get busy, but like, I always think of my child. So that's like
not run out.
That's a basic one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I was reading some stuff from this guy. He's a psychiatrist, Frank Pittman, and he's one of the probably one of these types where I feel like I probably wouldn't agree with him a lot. Him and Jordan Peterson would get along well based on what I read. Okay, let me say it to you like that. But he was talking about how basically there's only one difference between men and women. He said, there's only one thing a man can be that a woman can't. A father. And I was like, fuck, that's super profound. It's kind of dumb, but I get it. Because there's just biological differences, right?
Actually, sorry.
You provide a strength, ideally, and it's kind of shitty to say that some of your worth is all wrapped up in your physical strength and physical abilities. But is it? I don't know.
No, it's not.
Because if that's not acceptable, then why do I spend all this time at the fucking gym? You know?
Okay, so actually, once you said that, say what you just said again. Well, he said being a father. Basically,
the only thing that a man can do that a woman can't is be a father.
Okay. Now, touching on that, I don't even really like to... Well, yeah. A father and a mother are different because they're male and female.
Sure.
Like, different hormones and all that stuff, whatever, different ways of thinking. But they're different people as well. Mm-hmm. So that plays a huge factor. So it's being a father, is the only difference because both can be a parent, right? Do you know what I'm saying? That?
Yep.
So a father, I think, it's exactly what you're saying, is based on a lot of the physical attributes of being a male. But being a parent is based more on your personality and how you kind of raise your kid and stuff as a person, as people. As two individuals, right? So I totally agree with that. I can probably teach my child things that her mother can't. So, like, I'm handy. I know how to do... no joke. We were sitting out. I cleaned my toolboxes out and got them ready and stuff and just organized them. And I was sitting on the driveway with my kid. And I was just showing her all the tools. And she was pressing the triggers. And she's like almost 3, right? But like I was with her and I taught her.
You're not giving her a power tool and go, okay.
Yeah, I even pointed, though, don't touch that. That's sharp. And she was like, sharp. No touching that. And stuff.
Damn right.
So I was explaining, she was repeating all the names of them. I was explaining what they did. And I showed her like how they operated and stuff. And I let her like press the trigger on the drill just to make it spin. And so I can teach her things like that.
I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, right? Isn't that dope?
Sorry to sidetrack this, but that's fucking awesome.
It's pretty cool, right? So I can get her interested in things and make her, not like make her do it, but at least she'll have an idea of self-sufficiency because I'm like that. I don't care if I make $10 an hour or $1 million an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to build my own stuff because I like to do it and I think it makes me feel better as a person.
You're opening your kid to things. Now, if I may, do you think you are able to do that because you are her father or is it because something that you do and her mother doesn't?
Both.
Because I am her father and as a parent I choose to be active in her world.
Well, I don't mean the sense of you not necessarily being active in her world and maybe her mother not being, but I mean the sense that you go, here's some tools. What I'm saying, because you said like
that's a guy thing.
Okay, because what I'm thinking
it's not. But
It's not exclusively, but
in society, it's looked at as
That's
a
what
guy
I
thing.
that's what I mean. Like where it could, I'm not necessarily the handiest person, but I may marry someone who is, and they'll go, "Okay, son, I'm going to show you how to do this." Though at the same time, I'd show them to forge. But they go, "I'm going to show you how to use a drill." And me, I'm just going, "Well, it's going to be all fucked up."
you're such a fucking enigma, bro. You really are, because you look like you're as hairy and beardy as the manliest man who ever lived, but then you're like a soft-spoken, genial guy. But then you're not useless. Like we've done some small handiwork projects together. But you don't like go hard on DIY projects or anything. But then you run a fucking forge out of your backyard. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
But that's still a father thing, because I don't know a lot of mothers that run a forge out of their backyard.
So we're,
I only know one.
but we're connecting fatherly things to masculine things. Then
Yes, that's
Yeah,
pretty
for
much
sure.
what we're
That's
doing.
the point.
That's the
okay.
point.
That's what I want to. That's what I want to get to, because not to drag anything down or anything, I don't really have a frame for what a good father is.
Right. So, I guess touching not on that, but on what you said, father. When we're referring to being a father, is the masculinity role in in being a father.
So and
and then saying a parent would be the type of person you are, like your
Okay.
personality. So that's why you can use parent with the mom and dad, but father and mother are two separate beings, because
Yeah,
they're
like what can one do that one can't?
kind of like, oh, just wait till your father gets home.
But
sort
we
of thing.
shouldn't say, mind you, for the record, we should not say what one can't do, what one can't, based on being a father or mother, because there could very well be, and I'm sure there is, a couple out there where the woman is a genius with the tool.
That's what
Oh,
that's
fuck,
what I mean.
yeah.
You know what I
For
mean?
fun,
So,
for fun.
for
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
right?
So
okay,
we're
just
not-
want to clarify that, though, while
absolutely.
we're speaking.
But when you talk about masculinity
Yes,
as this
in the giant
umbrella term,
Over,
Okay.
no, I know.
So
I
we're
know
just-
what
skip the exceptions.
We're just defining something. That's all
Yeah.
we're doing. We're not stating. We're
right.
just defining.
So what's another aspect of masculinity? We kind of got to strength, right? And that one stretches into the toxic area too, but it's also part of the good thing.
How so?
And I say that as someone who firmly believes that women are the strongest creatures in the fucking world, because I've seen women deal with far more than any man I've ever known.
Yes. 100%.
But the physical strength and comfort that a man can give, even just to other dudes. I don't mean in like a tender hold me kind of way.
No.
Although if you want to, I'm not opposed.
Right.
But
Little spoon.
what is, okay, you can add it.
Sorry.
But I mean like a confident person, they can really put everybody else at ease.
Right. It's funny you
It's
say
a security.
It's a security,
Well-
that protection, that physical attribute, which is fine. I just want to say this.
Sure,
but
sure.
Have you guys ever seen a woman give birth?
Yes. Like in person?
Yes.
No.
Not in person, no.
It makes any man I know look like a pussy.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's like, it's hard because it's like, yeah, the men walk around, but that woman that had that child, if she is a mother and she had, gave birth. I mean, I'm sure I didn't see the C-section. Like there's no C.
yes,
I don't know. I'm not
sure.
even. I don't know.
But
how
that's
it
still
goes.
a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
That's
like,
still that big thing.
That's
Yeah, so I
My
ain't gonna
goodness.
touch that, but just the labor part,
Yeah.
and like just watching it and being there and just like, oh my god, like that's fucking crazy shit. Let me tell you that.
See, I am in no way subtracting from that, but I think if the shoe were on the other foot and dudes had to carry, we're all seahorses now.
okay.
Yeah,
It would just. It would be kind of like it is. It would be a thing that is necessitated by biology. Like I've already just said that I think women are 10 times stronger than men, but they have to. They just they don't have a
to.
choice.
Yeah.
they're more
Yeah.
sensitive. That's not even true.
What?
I guess I'm under the big umbrella of
No, but
society.
what I'm
Women
saying
are more
is-
sensitive, but they're what are you saying?
Childbirth. You don't. There's no option here.
No, there's no option. Like they can turn it on when they need to. Is what I'm
Well,
saying.
their
okay.
other
Right?
option is not having kids.
Like
Well,
they could
not
be,
having kids, sure, but-
they could be like the most like cry at everything and take everything really to heart, right? But then they'll push a fucking baby out of them.
Yeah.
So it's like
okay,
a
yeah,
flick.
I got you.
It's just motherly instinct, I think. I mean, I'm not a woman. I didn't give birth, but that's what I'm guessing. It's just like a switch.
That's that emotional intelligence.
To horribly quote a movie, Sin City, when they do the bit about the really big dude played by Mickey Rourke.
I never saw Sin City.
Okay, well, this woman who was very close to this particular character, her hand was literally eaten off her wrist, and the guy made her watch. So really, really fucked up, right? Again, just staying with me here. So she explains it, she screams, goes to the next scene, and it's as if nothing happened. They're just now talking, like, okay, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna do this, blah, blah. And the main character of this particular part of the story, he just says, women, it doesn't matter what happens to them after they talk about it. It's like it never fucking happened. I'm like, that's kind of neat because I've grew up with a lot of women in my life. My sister and I over the years have become more close, but there have been times where she's just distraught. The whole thing, her and I talk it out. She has a little cry, and then it's back to business as usual.
I think that goes hard against the stereotype that women typically bring everything up forever.
Oh yes.
Well, I'm not necessarily supporting that.
Yeah, good, because we're not talking about women. Sorry, but
no, I know. I kind of went off on a bit of a tangent there. My bad.
So give me another positive aspect of masculinity. Mickey, what does your dad do that you think is really positive? Or maybe your grandpa?
Well, again, like my dad is
Terry Crews.
My daddy. No.
I want Terry Crews to be my dad.
Right? Like, I mean,
but like my dad's
cool, but Terry Crews is wicked, man.
My dad's like a jack of all trades. So like the manly things he did, like when I left, he was cleaning out his truck. You know what I mean? Like had his truck parked in the back, had everything laid out, vacuuming and cleaning it out. Now, not to say like, no, you never think like, cleaning.
Setting a pretty low bar for your pops here.
Well, just right off the bat. But he's also torn down a wall in the garage to open it up. He's got the roof tarped up.
He's a self-sufficient dude. He ain't hiring no one.
So we got the self-sufficiency thing.
His creative aspects are under the masculinity thing. He works with wood. He builds tables. He builds guitars. He fixes things. Mm-hmm. He works on cars. And I just realized, yes, that was a little Irish Mickey rhyme. We'll play that back later. But
nope.
Now, and then growing up and having conversations with my dad, it was the calm, stern, let me tell you a story, sort of thing. And, he taught me a lot of life lessons, He taught me what it was to be a man,
Right.
Respect your mama. That was a big thing. He's like, you respect your mom. He respects his mom. My God, I remember when I was like 18, 19, I swore in front of his mom. He literally pulled me to the side and said, you don't swear in front of my mom. I'm like, holy crap. But
he didn't say your grandma. He said my mom.
I believe he said my mom.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But I could go on. But he taught me, for me, what I think it is to be a man.
Okay, so I can touch on that.
Sure.
And sum it up. Wisdom. In the sense of, okay, wisdom can be given by both sides, but from totally different perspectives, right? Because you're different genders, so you are going to grow up in the world differently, right? So you're going to have different views of or wisdom to share with your child or...
Well, yeah, based on your experiences and how you...
Exactly, right? So, but that also has to do with self-reflection, because if your dad's just some guy who just drinks beer all day and is just a dick, like those TV dads, right? Like you got the TV dad, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
shut up, Meg.
He just doesn't care to care even about himself and look at himself. You're probably not going to learn a lot of wisdom, but he might say one thing where it kind of clicks, you know? But if your father is a guy who is constantly trying to change for the better, realizing he wants to be the best role model for his kid in the best way he can, you're probably going to learn a lot more wisdom, because he'll stop doing bad things that he used to do and kind of just understand when they grow up as well and they go through this shit, you can relate to them.
Yeah, I think to watch,
you know what I mean?
To watch your dad grow would be an extremely good
example. You always need to grow.
Yeah.
That is a thing I feel like a lot of parents stop, is growing themselves, because they feel like they need to buckle down, but it's a lot of fear, I feel.
I thought most parents are always growing. That's why they call it dad bod.
Oh, yeah, that way.
Shots fired.
But like,
Growing out.
you know what I mean? You got to grow with your kid.
Okay, but we're talking
Anyway.
a lot about parenting here,
Yeah.
and I can't fucking relate. So what do we?
Shit.
What do we? I mean, there's so much more about being a man in a sense of
Yeah.
society besides being an example
There's
for a
all the
kid.
negative ones.
No,
Oh,
definitely,
are you talking
definitely.
About, well, alpha role, I guess, can be a positive thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, a woman can do it,
Yep.
but if a man of
My
an
mom was the
understa-
alpha
yeah,
in my house.
Well, like I said, alpha
sure.
role.
the alpha role. If a man chooses to take that or take it upon himself to be the alpha in like a group situation, say at work or whatever it is,
Yep.
but he goes about it the right way, like he's understanding, he's open to ideas, he just is really good to work with and work for, or whatever the situation is.
Stern when he needs to be.
Then that's a good representation of an alpha male. Same with a female. An alpha female can do the same thing. So I don't know. It's hard now in today's society to say what is a good male role because they're just good people roles now.
Yeah, there's
Do
so
you know what I
much.
mean? At
Which
least that's how I view it.
I think that the fact that we're having a little bit of trouble defining this is a good thing because it means that all of these traits have really been spread out across
Yeah.
the spectrum,
Yeah.
which is great.
Which I think now a lot of the good traits that were associated with being a male back, maybe 20, 30 years ago are now considered toxic.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So
I want to tell my story a little bit. And this is where that same psychiatrist, that Frank Pittman guy, he fucking hit me right in the gut with this one because it said he argued that toxic masculinity originates in men being raised by women in the absence of male role models. I was like, fuck.
That's
So-
a lot to chew right there.
It's a lot to chew. And then when I thought about it, because it's sort of what you were saying earlier, it's like most of my friends have always been girls.
Yeah.
I'm like a serial monogamist. I mean, not in the last 5 years because no one will come near me, but like before that, I was just always in like a one person relationship like that. So to think that I could be part of this, I was just like, how's that even fucking possible? But then I started, really after I heard the Terry Crews thing, I started thinking about, well, what are all the fucking elements of this? Things like misogyny. Well, was I a misogynist? How could I be a misogynist? I'm so pro woman. You still fucking can be.
Oh yeah.
You still and it
Yep.
it was never in an explicit way or anything. Like I was never like, oh, fucking women drivers or bitches and sluts. I mean, I say bitches and sluts, but that's not gender specific
No,
for me.
that's just
Homophobia again was never anti-gay, but I had that little language bug that happened in the early 2000s
Same
where
here.
everything was gay.
Yeah.
This was a faggot.
Yeah.
It was just
That's
language,
just
but you are
language.
contributing to the denigration of
Yes.
this group,
Yeah,
and that's not
absolutely.
okay.
Yep.
So you grow and you train out of that one. Violence was one of the ways I defined myself because especially when I could always be myself with my female friends, but when other dudes are around, I had to like tell violent stories and shit.
Sure.
And it's
Yeah.
like those things happened, but I'm not. And even when I was telling the fucking stories, I wasn't particularly proud of them.
Right.
And they sucked. That's the thing, man. That's the thing about so many fights. Like, even if you destroy a guy, if you love fighting, you still probably got hit in the face. Getting hit in the face
Yeah, it
sucks,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
It just sucks.
Aggression can be a good thing.
Anger is a gift.
Yeah, your anger is a gift. Freedom, did you learn it yet, Mickey?
No, not yet.
Oh, you haven't even listened to the
Well,
fucking
no,
song,
I have.
have you?
A lot of that stuff, I'm just going like, man, there's a lot of extra stuff for me to
Yeah,
pick up on.
All right, anyway.
It's not just guitar.
But I think
I know.
aggression can be a good thing because you can be aggressive, like, towards your goals. You can be aggressive, even just...
Dude, it's like life. Sorry, everything is a good thing in moderation. Just like you're
Well,
saying.
yeah.
Aggressiveness in a positive light.
Yes.
Well,
100%
it's
agree.
context, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
No,
like a
that's
dick.
okay. I
I
appreciate that. It was well shaded. But like when you combine violence and aggression, like the thing about violence is it is necessary, and you know what's the fucking expression? If good men are unwilling to do violence, and then the bad violent people I can't think of that.
It's when good men are silent, bad men, blah, blah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's not it.
You didn't help out that situation at all.
I'm trying.
Anyway, the idea is that if good people can't be violent and aren't good at it, then the bad people who are violent and that's the argument that the gun people will take and run with. But that's not the point.
No,
that's not the point at
yeah.
all, because the point is to not use it, right? It's just posturing.
Blood for blood, I guess.
Well,
It's my bitch
Yeah.
face and how it defends me,
Walk-
which it definitely does. This face has gotten me through so much.
oh yeah.
Because before I learned this face, when I was like just a shy little timid kid. I mean, I'm still shy, but I'm not timid anymore.
Yeah,
it was
definitely
like
not. In a good way.
Thank you. It was like I was just prime target for being picked on, right?
Yeah.
And you just get bitter.
Because those are the. Oh yeah. Oh, getting
But
picked on.
those toxic motherfuckers, like bullies, like bullying has got to be. Bullying pretty much encompasses everything about toxic masculinity.
Yes. Bullying
Everything.
is a huge thing.
On the bullying, really quick.
Yeah.
Would you think that would that this phrase would fall under bullying? Boys will be boys.
Oh no,
Yeah.
doubt. No
Talking about
fucking doubt.
looking at males and masculinity, like as females do bully each other, but the boys will be boys.
Yeah, because
like,
it'll be.
it's almost sexist.
No, it is. It is.
Okay.
But it's funny too, because again, I don't want to make this a male female thing, but people will see like girls doing that and they'll be like, "Oh, what a bunch of cunts,"
Sure.
you know. And then it's boys will be boys. Well, no, these guys are cunts too.
Yeah. Big ones.
I was thinking about it today, and I thought. Sorry, Fresh. Did you finish your point? Did you want to keep going?
This point will continue. So
Okay.
go on.
So I was thinking about the boys will be boys, and I still think it's important. But I think a big part of that is what is missed is talking about it afterwards. Now, let's just say a 4-year-old boy will go up to a girl in a dress and lift her skirt up. Boys will be boys. Boys will do that. Boys will always do that. But the problem is, okay, well, some boys will do that. My brother, for example. Oh, sorry, not my brother. Me. Trying to put on off. I've done that before in my youth, but I was spoken to afterwards. You don't do that. That's not appropriate. To say.
My daughter would knock you the fuck out.
Because the big thing is when the boys will be boys comes up, it's always met with serious adversity, and they say it has to be destroyed. It's part of growing.
I know what you're saying. I think that was a fucking terrible example.
Okay, and then again,
Yes.
as they get older, you know,
Eating dirt is boys will be boys.
Oh, see, I'm just thinking of it as part of some of the things that they do that again are not acceptable now. You know, let's just say when you start to get into your teens or early teens, you know, maybe you like a girl, you express yourself to a girl, you want to try to give her a kiss or something, and they back up. And then let's just say you might get mad and you might call her a bitch or a slut or something like that. And then the parental figure comes down. Well, because boys will do that. They get like, what would you do? Like you're confused, you're angry, you're
No,
upset.
assholes will do that.
Well, no, but any
Yeah, no, that's the toxic thing, Mickey.
no, but that's and then the parental figure comes in and goes, it's okay to feel angry and be upset, but you need to understand that it's not just you.
No, it's
She's
not. It's not okay to feel angry about someone's non-consensual.
Okay, that might have been wrong. Okay, it's in my head. It's not coming
you
out
should
right.
Stop now.
I know. I don't mean any ill thing. I just think like when I guess I'm more so work for the young
Let's
boys.
just sing it. Let's just sing it every time.
When they do things, they need to be spoken to.
Okay, so
The same way
let
they eat
me-
dirt. Don't eat dirt. You don't just let them eat dirt. You go, okay, well, maybe don't eat dirt again.
Yeah.
Let
Have
me-
you ever
let me-
tried it? Go vegan.
Okay, let me touch on the bullying thing on the boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Boys will be boys, I feel, just originated from hiding emotion and dealing with it through aggression and violence.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the origination. Is that a word?
The origin.
The origin. Thank you. Oh my God. I got to start reading books again. The origin of that saying, I feel. So when that is said, you're pretty much just contributing to toxic masculinity in a way. And
Yeah,
if they
absolutely.
grow up,
'Cause it's
especially
always
in
an
their young
excuse.
years, it's an excuse. It's a bullshit excuse. It's not boys will be boys. It's that was wrong. So we need to talk about this and deal with it in the appropriate manner. Don't just brush it off and go, boys will be boys.
I mean,
You know?
the extreme example is like the Donald Trump shit. The pussy grabbing.
Oh, yeah.
Locker room talk.
Yeah. Oh,
what fucking locker room was that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wrote that down. I'm just very excited.
What, that exact point?
Yeah, locker room talk.
Locker room talk, yeah. Oh, man, when I played, because I was on sports teams,
Yeah.
never really felt like,
One of the guys.
yeah, because it's just like, But, like, I guess I kind of social chameleoned it, right? And just, like, adapted to my environment. And just,
See,
but then I became so used to it. I guess that would be the catalyst. I tried to fit in so much that I
Why?
just became something I wasn't.
Why did you want to gravitate towards that?
I don't know. Probably because of pop
Peer
culture,
pressure.
peer pressure, not knowing what the fuck I want to do with my life. So it's like, this is just a thing to do
See,
to become somebody, I guess. I don't know.
It's interesting because, again, locker room talk, I know it exists and I've heard it. You see it in TV shows and movies and stuff like that. But for me,
Mickey's like, I've heard of locker rooms.
I've heard of locker rooms.
yeah, no, I changed in my locker because I was stuffed in there. No,
Oh.
but you said you're a social chameleon.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah, you said you're like a social chameleon and you just kind of adapted to it. For me, I shut it off. I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I avoided it. So when I see it like in media, I go, okay, yeah, but I never really experienced it, and maybe because they were just silly. They never were going on about girls and fucking and
But the
shit like
guys,
that.
the guys at your school?
Yes, they just did silly things. They threw soap at each other. Like it was almost you look back and you go, what the fuck?
Like, what?
That's like a hookup. If somebody threw
Dude,
soap at me,
Some
bro,
people
thank
did
you.
fucked up shit. Like,
No, it was off the back of your fucking head.
Oh.
I knew a guy. Well, I didn't really know him because I didn't really want to know him, so I just avoided most of these people. They would fucking piss in people's shampoo bottles.
I heard about shit like that. I never saw
Oh
it.
yeah, it happens, man. It's like fucked up. It's like I never got it. That's why I was like, man, I don't even want to be here. I never put my all into sports because of that. Really,
'Cause of
I
bros.
just didn't really fit.
Chads and tads.
Okay, so here's the thing that I want to touch because I call this the bro down every week, and it very much is, and I consider you guys my bros. But what is the difference between bros and like bro douches?
Okay,
Like, what is the difference between spiky hair and blue and white pinstripes and us?
I'm gonna say the mentality. They push for negative things, and we support each other.
I don't think they even realize they push for negative things.
Well, so they support. Oh, look at that. We're gonna go downtown and fuck
Yeah,
with
but
bitches
in their
and shit
life,
like
that's
that.
positive,
Okay.
right? You know what I'm saying?
But-
From their point of view. But I know what you're saying. I agree with you,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying from their point of view, it's looked at as like, yeah, this is the thing we do. This is positivity.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't think it's
positive
necessarily a
vibes,
positive.
bro,
I think they
downtown.
know it's a bad thing. They just don't give a shit.
Or they don't reflect. They shut it off, dude.
And we'll be hard on each other, but we support each other. I think for them, if it came down to it, you will be isolated. You will be cut off from the crew if you do something that they don't agree with.
Depending.
Depending.
Yeah, probably.
I think
Maybe an emasculating
the
thing.
difference between bros versus bros,
Yeah. I like that.
right? We call each other bro. I
Yeah.
use bro all the time.
Yeah.
And to my bros. But I don't
My
know.
female bros, too.
We're mental bros. Right? So we
Okay.
click on a mental level. We understand each other, obviously, because we're doing creativity. We're making creative things together.
Yep.
I don't know. We just click on, we can just talk.
Okay.
So we're mental bros.
We're open.
We're
we're
open.
open
We're
with each other.
we're realizing we're growing. We're all growing as individuals, and we're kind of just like we can relate to each other, because we're older and we've lived that shit, and we're now kind of over it. And
Yeah.
Anyway, then the bros are like,
Fuck bitches,
shut
get
off.
money.
Yeah, shut off. Completely ignore morals and whatever. Good feeling things and just do what is said and told that everybody else is doing. Like it's very pushed on you in pop culture.
Yeah.
And as a kid, even I remember that. And like I said, at schools too, just the popular kids and what they would get. Like I knew scholarships for playing sports. Like your school's paid for, and you're not even like really that smart.
Yeah, but
you know?
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about shit like
what?
like crowds of dudes where if you were to hang out with them, you're going to hear phrases like "she wants it,"
Yeah, these are the same people I'm
sort
talking
of
about, man.
vomiting-inducing bullshit.
This is
a sports scholarship is like I'd
No,
take a fucking sports scholarship
so would
if I could get it.
I would, but I'm saying that I was just seeing that, and I was like trying to emulate it, I guess, to get something out of it.
I see.
You know what I mean? So no, and not all those people were bros. Like I knew a lot of people who played sports that are really good people.
They're really good bros.
Really good bros, and they're just awesome people and very dedicated at anything they do in life. But anyway, yeah, bro, I'm saying when you get a clique of those people, they tend to just drift toward what makes things dominant. So, for example, we'll use sports again: football, hitting, there's violence. It's just filled with testosterone. So a lot of those people, at least in my experience, that's kind of how they click. They're not really at a deep level, but they'll be bros at a bar and they'll drink and they'll party and they'll watch the game and talk about it and stuff. And I had my bros like that before.
Yeah.
Right? You're drinking bros, you're bros. Party bros. That's what you're party bros.
Yeah.
And you're mental bros.
They have like no regard for
That's the
anybody
difference.
else sort of mentality too.
Yeah, they really kind of just, and a lot of them want attention. Like the hollering.
God, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hollering at even some young bros were out front. I walked to my car and they're like, whistle at me and shit, and I'm just like, oh, I just really don't like that. That's not, like, it's unnecessary. I would never do it. I've never done it. You know what I mean? When you see a guy catcall a girl on the street,
yeah,
they do it to dudes too, right? And I don't even like it when dudes do it to girls.
I feel like they're trying to get a rise out of you though. They're not doing it for
They're
the same
trying to
reason.
exactly,
It's a
but
fucking
it's
point.
it's
They're like,
like
"Come
an
at me, bro,"
alpha.
sort
It's
of
an
thing.
alpha thing. It's like they think there's some shit, full knowing like you're 17. I look like I'm in my 20s. If I go out and deck you, I'm a big shit.
Yeah.
So you're fully protected. So what you're really being is a bitch and a disrespectful POS, really.
Yeah.
But they don't see it that way. They think, I won.
Oh yeah, I
that
won.
guy backed down.
It's like, no, because if there was no law, I'd probably eat you. Bitch.
Yeah, vegan except for people.
Yeah. Fucker.
No, you use the word there, dominance. And that is so significant because there's always an element of dominance in toxic masculinity. And if you're not it's not just enough to know it. And I think this is one of those masculine versus toxic masculine things where it can be okay to be dominant. It can be okay to be alpha. But when you are always asserting yourself over people like that through bullying or, any number of negative ways.
Disregarding people's intelligence on the situation at hand. Like, I've been in settings.
Yeah, like, shut up, psycho.
Sorry.
That was an example.
Yeah,
Go on.
exactly. Oh, really? Yeah. No.
I was trying.
I don't know. I thought you would.
I got it.
I'm glad you did.
It didn't go over Mickey's head.
No, like at work or something, and you say something, and someone's like, "Nah, we'll do it this way." It's like, and they have very a lot less credential than you do, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, they're just asserting
and they just
themselves
assert
over
themselves,
you. Yes.
and you're like,
yes.
Who the fuck are you? But you can't say that at work. You can't
Yeah.
just look at him and be like, who the fuck do you think you are?
So that sort of thing. But I don't know, guys, give me feedback on this because I started trying to take the more biologically evident signs of dominance and incorporate them into myself. So again, not bullying, not being a fucking dick to anybody because I don't want to do that. I don't think there's any merit there, and I feel like shit. Like this was when I knew I was growing. All of the things about all this toxic masculinity stuff that had always been a part of my character, when I realized how awful they made me feel, and they always made me feel awful. It's just I didn't know it.
Right.
And it's just like sick fucking poison inside you. It
Yeah.
feels just terrible. And there's actually studies on how this like brain to body connection can really affect you.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, I'm a nightmare. You know what I mean? So not that, but things like, when you make eye contact with somebody,
Sure.
don't break it first.
Oh, yeah. Don't break eye contact. Yeah.
When I'm walking through the gym and I'm walking past another dude, who's gonna be the first one to nod? It's not gonna be me.
First person to nod?
Yeah, you know the dude nod?
Yeah.
Like,
See,
give a dude nod?
I'm excited to nod. I make eye
See,
contact with
that's
someone.
you, though,
I'm like,
brother.
hey, what's going on?
That's you, for sure.
Yeah.
And you probably like people walking around with headphones, and Mickey's just like got the paper out. Right? Did you see this today?
Yeah.
This today, sir.
Oh, just a really quick story. My girlfriend and I were up in Niagara Falls when I did my first blacksmithing thing.
Yeah.
And there was this big race that was going on, anyways, just a running thing. Anyways, this dude, the guy looked like he was in his 60s, tall guy, long white beard.
Nice.
Him and I make eye contact, and he gives you the okay look. I'm like, fuck yeah! I was so excited.
He's just like 30 more years, buddy. 30 more years.
And then some lady was kind of strolling by. She goes, "Nice beard, bro." I'm like, "Oh yeah, cheers, man, awesome." I just wanted, again, the eye contact thing, just had to say that real quick.
But like, I'm talking chest up, shoulders back, not looking at the ground, that sort of thing. Like, these are things I'm always, all day, every day telling myself.
Right.
Like, own this room when you walk in.
Yeah.
Don't.
Because you have to.
But see, that's where I feel like I'm the dick for good.
Yeah.
Do you think that's toxic thinking?
No. Because before, I was a fucking asshole everywhere I went and everywhere I did. This was pretty much before you knew me. Mickey, you caught some of this because we worked together and I was in a horrible mental place.
I'm just kidding.
No, but even that, I'm sure, like, I wasn't the world's worst boss, but everybody thought I was a dick because I was a dick. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was massively dissatisfied. Company was a mess. All that stuff doesn't excuse anything. I was just a dick.
Right.
That was how I got shit done. So that versus confidently saying something to someone, posturing yourself with confidence.
I'm glad you said it like that because I had that recently at work. I had someone ask me where something was in a very dickish way, like as if they asked 3 other people. I'm their 4th, and I actually had to mentally prepare myself. I said to myself, it's okay to be a dick. I actually said it under my breath. It's okay to be a dick. It's okay to be. And I turned around and I said exactly what they wanted to hear, but sternly and moderately off-putting. Like it was like a whole recipe of how to do it just right. And suddenly their whole posture changed. Their attitude changed for me. They're like they didn't fear me, but they respected me.
Yeah.
And they go, oh
yeah, well,
thank you. And they weren't no longer a dick. Now, if I met someone of more douchey power, they may have can't come at me. But I had just the right peppering amount of douche, but in a respectful way going, you don't need to talk to me like that. I'll give you what you want. I'll do the best I can, but you don't need to talk to me like that.
Right. No, that's good, man.
And it felt fantastic.
You configured that perfectly.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I mean is when they know you're not to be fucked with, it changes the dynamic for the positive.
Yeah, but you're not gonna do the first jump at them, but you go like, oh, maybe I won't try it either.
No, but don't walk on me.
Yeah.
Walk
soft, but carry a big stick.
Right. Or at least a big dildo. You're going to need something. No, not what we were doing?
No. It's just a saying.
I guess I'm just looking for feedback on that. Like, is that dickish?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like owning the room?
Yeah.
I think it's situational.
Sure.
Like, I don't think you need to own every single room.
In this situation, going to the gym.
But this is... No, because like I just said, I do this everywhere I go. I'm programming myself for this.
Well, okay, coming from me, I try to do that. I am not there yet. I am definitely still the bitch. And I will look down at the floor. Some days though, my good days I won't. Like some days I can do it.
Right.
But
like I'm doing it right. I didn't even realize I'm doing it right now.
But it's good in a way. But like to me, it's not like an intimidating thing because I know you.
Well,
I
you know me. It's
different.
different.
Do this, right? Like
there's no first impression to be had.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, there's Jordan. He's got a good posture. You fucking idiot. No. Eating his fucking kale. And fucking arugula.
Kale farts.
No.
Here's a situation for you. You walk into somebody's house, a friend of yours' house for the first time. Do you own the room?
Mine.
Interesting.
Okay, so maybe I phrased it wrong. Maybe it's not about owning the room. This zone right here, this 6 feet 190.
It's the room.
This is untouchable.
It's
right, but it is the room.
I'm just thinking.
Is it the room though?
Yeah, it is.
I'm just thinking
because I'm not consciously. Sorry, I think
Sure.
I got your situation, Mickey. I'm not consciously like this is my house. when I walk into a stranger's house.
I
But
think it's
like,
unintentional, but it is the room because a lot of people do not have that confidence.
That's the word I was looking for. I think it's more of a display of confidence. Because if let's just say, have you been to my house before? You met my folks? I don't think you have.
no.
No? Okay, so I can just imagine him, just like coming over just for dinner or something like that. I can see him just coming in,
What y'all serving? Peanut butter toast?
Peanut butter toast.
If I'm making dinner, yes. But I could just see you come in, it would be if crosses burnt into it. But you would meet my family confidently, but not in a douche way. But it's like, this is who I am. I am confident in myself, and I'm gonna look at you in the eye, shake your hand, and let you know that I can talk. And I don't know.
Now, think about it like this from a different person's perspective. Say we were in a room. I do not have the same confidence in myself that you do, and I do not carry myself the same way. I'm very laid back. I don't really want to be noticed. I don't really care to be noticed. You know what I mean? And not doing something to be noticed, but just having that aura of confidence gets you noticed. Like, oh, that guy knows what the fuck he's doing.
I don't give a fuck about being noticed.
Exactly. So, but I do. So I'm more that guy that like I'll lean on the wall, right? Like,
yeah,
back turned towards the corner.
But so if someone doesn't know me and you and how well we know each other, they would see an extremely confident guy and some really like weak, confident dude. But if the timing's right, you could say something and I could just come back right at you and shut you down.
Oh, eviscerate me.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You could do the same to me, but if the timing is right, and they'd be like, well, that's fucked up that just happened because the auras are totally different,
yes.
Right? Isn't that a weird perspective then?
That's interesting. Yeah.
I wonder how people at the gym saw us when we went into the gym together.
Probably thought I was your trainer.
1,000 fucking percent.
Yeah. No, I'm just being a shit. All the time you see that shit. There's always like a more experienced friend helping a less experienced friend or something like that. Okay, so anyway, another classical element of the toxic masculinity is promiscuity. So I don't want to go too hard in this because we're going to get in all our various capers and...
I'm a virgin.
So let's just discuss the issue at hand and try not to tell stories here. But I think that's pretty evidently toxic.
Yes.
The boisterous attitude of it? Of the promiscuity?
No, because it doesn't have to be boisterous. Slick just said he's shy and he looks weak in a room. He's still,
but it's
got a laundry list.
Well,
thanks,
when
man.
I think of a one who sleeps
fucking on the line.
Just for the definition of promiscuity, is it in a relationship and cheating or just getting around?
Yeah, just being a playboy, just being a player.
Okay, because that could be like an insecurity thing too.
Yeah, that's the fucking root of everything we're talking about.
You want to get real about this? I'll touch on this.
All right.
It starts with toxic masculinity and wanting to you see it everywhere, so it just becomes a thing, especially when alcohol is involved. Mm-hmm. And then when you go through years and years of it, of just exposing yourself to that cycle and it becoming routine in your life, then even when you try not to do it, it's like a comfort. So when you're feeling alone or depressed or whatever, go out. Try to find someone. It becomes ultimately sad because after the fact, you feel like complete shit. But you keep doing it because you ignore those emotions. And then it can...
any of it at all have to do with enjoyment of the acts of sex itself?
I was just going to touch on the other part it can develop into is an addiction.
Right.
It can, because of the way it makes you feel during that point, but not after. It would be like the hangover of drinking or the withdrawals of drugs. It just leads down a really, really hard hole to get out of, especially when you're trying to get out of a lot of deep holes.
Yeah.
So
one thing that I read before on addiction was that the difference between an addiction and a good habit, because you can be addicted to running. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah, right. Is that an addiction takes away from the rest of your life, whereas a good habit, even say you perform it as much, contributes to the rest of your life.
Well, okay, I will say this for sure. Since we're just being fucking open douches, I've noticed now in my self-reflective days, which are now, I still catch myself thinking like that. I still catch myself thinking, oh, I'm going to go party. I still, it's still there.
Yeah.
I'm not repressing. I'm trying to, like, take it out.
Exercise that.
I'm
demon.
trying to feel the need to do it and talk my way through why you shouldn't and go and find a new path to carve instead of, like, plateauing there.
It's like meditation. You got to think the thought to let it go.
Yeah, and you rely on things. You get those feelings. Like there are days where I would just sleep because I knew if I didn't, I would go drink.
No shit.
Oh yeah, just because of things in my life that and how I used to handle things and how I'm trying to handle things. So I'm still in that like limbo of like developing better habits. Like instead of laying in bed, I should have went running and worked out and prepped a good meal. I ain't there yet. But this was months ago, right? So I would lay in bed because I knew I would drink or I would do something stupid, right? And I'm just like, just go to bed. That will eliminate that problem. You got the time, go do it.
So what I'm getting is that there's a tie between the former point of dominance and promiscuity.
Yes.
Because it's got so little to do with how much you actually like women.
So it's, exactly.
And it's more like
It's like
I hate pickup artist shit, but it's like a conquering thing.
Yeah,
I was
it
going to say
is.
sexual conquest.
It's a conquest thing. It's fucked up. It really gets really fucked, and then it gets even more fucked when you start realizing how fucked it was, right? So
Yeah.
when you start regretting all of the things you did for years,
Yes.
you're just like, man, it's so overwhelming that you don't even, I'm not going to say live, but you just want to be in a dark room and no cell phone for like weeks.
Just an acid bath.
Just
burn it all
burn
away.
it. Just like stop thinking.
Yeah.
But you're
I
so
bleach.
accustomed to those thoughts that they still come back sometimes,
Yes.
even if you don't want them to. They're
yeah,
still like, oh,
absolutely.
I could go do this. I could go see this person. Like I could play it. I could, you
Okay,
could do it all.
here's a question, Slick. I think you went down that path a little further than I did.
Probably.
Okay, but I love women. Like I think like a woman is just a wonderful thing, right? And when I see a hot girl, it's like, whew, how about that, right? God bless Instagram.
Right.
Where is the line of understandably noticing something, respectful appreciation, and then when does it become toxic?
Catcalling.
Catcalling is definitely toxic.
Yeah,
What the
100%.
fuck do you think you're even doing?
Yeah. Like no one likes that.
Maybe. Well, see, you said
Literally no one.
You appreciate an attractive woman. I feel that where it becomes toxic is where they go, I don't appreciate it. I just want it.
When you look
Interesting.
at it as a thing.
It's a thing.
Look at it, not it, her. It's not. I was more looking at
Gender spectrum.
more the act of it. I guess that's why I said it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
But it or her as a object.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes like a
Yeah, well,
conquest.
that's what I mean. It's like
a
I
mission.
I don't necessarily respect how you look. I just want it for myself. I think because like you said again, just to rephrase, I respect this. I want it. There's a difference.
But okay, let's be real here. A nice, like a pretty girl with a good body and a fat ass. I don't know. Like I respect everything about her autonomy.
Sure.
I walk past her on the street. This is all I know about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there anything toxic about noticing that? Like,
No, but I don't think
it's
one is
about, Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, I think
that's weird.
I think I would consider one a fool to think that you can't just do it off of looks. But that's how everything starts almost. Again, yes, we have the age of technology where we can have no face and talk to someone and go, wow, I really like this person. I think I might be falling in love with them. And then you meet them and go, I don't care how you look. It's a bonus if you're attractive or not. But to say it's toxic to see that and go, I like that, I think that's foolish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I don't think that's
'Cause
toxic.
I've actually struggled with that.
It's how you act on it. Like
Fair
if,
enough.
If
Yeah.
you like stop and go, damn girl, like that's like shut the fuck up.
Suddenly
but if you do a
sunglasses come out
little
of nowhere.
peek and you're like, wow, that girl is extremely beautiful, and you just don't act on it. That's just the thought. It's in, out, gone, and then you're still walking. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure girls look at guys and go, wow, that guy's really handsome.
Do they ever?
Yeah, so it's the same
wouldn't
thing.
know.
It's a biological. If you're attracted to something, you're gonna notice it. It's like seeing a fucking building.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. All right.
So
cool.
you're not looking at it as oh man, that sounds bad. I didn't want to compare a woman to a building, an object.
No, but
I thought
keep
you were
going on that,
comparing
though.
me to a building.
But you are
built like a brick
only
shithouse.
if you do not know that woman or that man, and you walk past them on the street, all you are noticing about them is their physical being on this planet. You know nothing about them. You don't even know the sound of their voice. You probably don't even know the color of their eyes. Maybe if they're like striking, but maybe you notice their physique. Maybe you notice their hair. But something physical triggered you, so you kind of are looking at them like not a material object, but a physical object.
You're
right?
looking at them
understand.
hormonally.
Sorry, I just really
Nothing
needed
wrong
to
with that.
talk that
They're
out.
there.
Okay. I appreciate the context. Let's move on before we dig this hole.
Yeah,
Dig this hole. It's Doug.
it's Doug.
Speaking of not dealing with things, suppression.
Yeah, what
I
about
think this is one of the absolute worst aspects of this because it prevents anything from being dealt with. You can't talk about anything. You are essentially not allowed to have emotions. So things like anger and violence are fine.
but not
Those are
yeah.
okay. But all of the other things, and that's how you turn into me. You know?
Well, can I say one thing about suppression?
Yeah.
It pretty much ruined my entire life up to this point.
Damn.
Because just going along, not being yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, being so sure of who you are and then not being yourself for so long, you suppress all the hate that you had. Not all the hate, but all the things you didn't want to be. That you just become them. So you don't even have to feel that, like, why the fuck, all this shit. So by just suppressing, that's just one aspect of suppression.
Yeah.
And then how you feel about things, if you suppress that, and how you talk to other people, it's fucked up, because if someone comes at you and you don't understand what they're saying, you're just going right back at them, like with pride, or you're just fuck what they're saying.
Just defiance.
Suppress their
You're
emotions.
just so defensive.
And you just automatically react. It is so toxic. It can just destroy relationships,
Destroy
friendships.
yourself.
It can destroy yourself, your relationship with yourself. So going through that, oh man, I suppressed a lot of shit just through partying when I didn't want to think of something, or if I was like stressed, I was like, fuck, I need a beer, crack. 18 later, I need another beer. Fuck this shit. You know what I mean? That's what it developed into over this whole cycle. So I feel, I don't know, maybe I'm lucky that I just, something clicked and I just realized it early, and I'm trying to escape it. And it's going to take a while, but I'm going to get out.
And the important part is having your bros help you through it.
Mental
Because that's a
bros.
big thing too, is suppression. If you don't have anybody there to help you, it only gets worse.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
true. And that's the interpersonal aspect of suppression. Like Slick, you talked about not dealing with it with yourself. But I mean, I ruined the best relationship I ever had because of suppression. And it's one of the reasons that I really struggle to connect with people. Again, I'm trying to get better at this nowadays. But one of my exes, not the one I just referenced, but we were friends for years beforehand. And she said to me, she's like, this after we then broke up, like, you're gonna have to let someone in at some point. And it's fucking weird because we knew each other for 10 years before we dated. She knew everything about me. So she was a little bit better equipped, but then she's like, is this what you do to everyone? I'm like, what am I doing? She's like, just fucking hug me or something. But I didn't realize it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, this is the only way I know how to be.
You know what you need? You need a weekend with Mickey. You will open the fuck up.
I don't feel like that's what I need.
At the cottage that doesn't exist?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
for
the
fuck's sake,
non-existent
it'll
cottage.
happen.
Let's do it.
why
Let's
will-
go cast up there.
Oh,
Yeah, we will.
Anyway.
Why will a weekend with Mickey help me express myself?
Well, you know what? I really like to pry at people to really get them to open up.
No fucking shit.
Right? But I do it in a supportive way. Like I remember I was having a discussion with some of my classmates. We were talking about when we say sorry, and I always say, "Why are you sorry?" Because I don't take that bullshit of I'm saying sorry because I don't want you to be angry or I want this to go away. No. Why are you sorry? And I don't do it in a dick way. It's just, why are you sorry? But that's
Okay.
so if we're talking and something kind of comes up, I go, well, why that though? almost like a psychologist kind of way. Like, what do you feel that way? Or what makes you, how does that make you feel? But I think it's just so important to really not be afraid to dig at your friends in a positive, nurturing way.
As long as they're prepared.
Well, and that's a big thing. Like, I won't push it. If you push back too hard, I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. And then you go, no problem. And again, it opens up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. It's just, you got to be easy with them. You got to take your time. And if they don't want to talk about it, do something else. Just take their mind off of their stress that they're having at that moment. Just relax.
Word.
I feel like there's a trust scale almost. So when you meet somebody, you develop a friendship, maybe, right? And like I have a certain friend, well, E.
Word.
Ep9. I've been friends with him since I can fucking remember things, pretty much. And like I said earlier on in this episode, I was lucky I had like a really good, and when I say core group of friends, I'm talking about like maybe 3 people I've known since I was a child.
Yes.
Who have been through all my ups and downs. And he's one of them. And so I'm lucky I can talk to him about things, but they're still, we drift and come back. And so over the years of knowing him so well, we've developed like a trust scale kind of thing. And it's like a 10 out of 10. He can tell me anything and I can tell him anything. And that's good. But if we met later on in life fresh, right? So we had to develop that kind of trust scale as we went to go and know and see how we would react to certain things, because everybody's going to react to something differently. Everybody's going to have something different to say. And not everyone's going to want to open up, because a lot of people, sadly, are kind of fake. There's a lot of fake backstabbing friends that will use information you tell them against you later on in life. But if you can trust somebody, then you can start opening up. So I've developed friendships with people I never thought they would open up to me, but just because I actually like them as people and I just treat them as like my brothers. Yeah. In return, they open up to me and I try to help them, because I've been through a lot of shit and I'm super open about a lot of shit I do and been through, and it's, whatever, man, as long as I can maybe help somebody avoid that area of life, I'm cool with it. So,
and I mean, Mickey, you can't get him to close up.
It's true. I'm just
floodgates open, right?
Just immediately, like,
he's just like,
hello.
The
let me
emotional
tell you
flasher.
everything that's happened in the last 28 years.
But yeah, so I don't know. Opening up and talking about your feelings is super important.
Yes, I was thinking. You said Mickey doesn't. It's hard to get me to close up, because I find it so therapeutic to talk.
No, I dig it, man. I really
listen
do.
to his voice.
It's true.
Listen to my voice.
I listen to it a lot.
It doesn't
Mostly
stop.
just figuring out where I can make cut points, but no, it's interesting though, because you can do that. Like, I'm trying to be more open now, but I still do that in a empirical, detached way. So I always make fucking stupid jokes, like guy at work. I'll be like, "You're still here?" It's past the time he's supposed to leave. And he'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm just working late or whatever. And I'll be like, you need to take a cue from my dad and learn how to get gone. And he'll be like, what? But I'm being dead serious at the same time.
Jesus.
But there's no emotional attachment to that joke for me. It just is a fact. So in the same way, I can tell my horror stories. I won't do that now, and it's almost like it happened to someone else. I don't know. Maybe I need therapy.
It sounds like
Probably.
you have separated yourself from your events.
Well, I don't know.
It's probably not
I don't know
healthy.
though, because
Well, no, but it's a coping mechanism. It's a suppression mechanism. I mean, like, you're right, it's not healthy, but the fact that now,
even though I'm talking about it, I'm not like feeling.
but maybe
it.
not.
What do you mean?
Maybe it is healthy, because I do the same thing. I knock jokes out about myself like that all day.
Sure.
About just past mistakes or anything.
Yeah.
Right? But I do think about it.
Okay.
Right? But I'm okay. Well, I have to be, because there's no fucking going back. I don't want to say no regrets, because I regret a lot of things, but I can't fucking change them.
Yeah.
I can't.
No.
As much as I would love to, I cannot. So I'm open, and I try to do it with humor, because I feel like humor strikes more. And
the best medicine.
And it'll still kind of if you say something like dark humorish or like don't do what I did, blah blah blah, whatever it is, with certain people, it'll still strike them in a way that is not humor. You know,
Yeah.
if you're being open and honest.
Yeah.
So, I just feel like, and also I feel like just everyday life. A lot of people try to just be so perfect and like not perfect, but just no flaws.
Here's
and
my
stuff.
Instagram life.
Yeah, so it's like, just fucking admit your flaws because chances are it happened to that person too, or
Yeah,
some
dude.
worse shit happened. I fucking thought I was a shitty person, and then I thought I knew a person, and I thought they were great, and then I got their whole backstory. I'm like, oh my god, you're fucking way more fucked than I am, but you turned it around.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's fucked up. That's my thought.
It's a good thought.
No, it is fucked up. Okay, so let me ask you this, because this goes hard against the toxic masculine point. You guys ever go to therapy?
No.
Twice, 2 different therapists.
Like 2 times ever?
No, like 10 times. Oh, maybe less. Maybe like 8 times.
And?
Well, I'm stubborn, and
Don't give me the gory details, but like...
No, I'm stubborn, and I just pretty much they said everything I thought they would say to me.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? Like, I took a little bit of psych in university. Nothing. I'm not saying I'm a fucking psychologist or anything like that, but just the bullshit no one came at me with anything different that I already knew that I should
It was all
do.
textbook.
Like, write down your stuff and think about how it makes you feel. And blah. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm in grade 3. Like, I already know I should do this. I'm still not going to do it, even though you told me, because you didn't blow my mind. If you're going to show me a way to deal with something, I guess I'm just that stubborn that you got to fucking blow my mind that it'll make me want to change.
He needs a Goodwill Hunting.
Matt Damon.
Yes.
You're-
So, yeah, I don't know. Therapy didn't really work for me because I talk about my shit with a lot of people. So it wasn't really... it was actually more intimidating. Like, oh, you don't know this person, they're your doctor. It's like, yeah, but I still don't, like, want to... And I won't lie, my first therapist was, like, an attractive young female. And that was terrible. That was the worst thing.
Oh, that's awful.
Because
Well,
I'm
especially
already...
for you, 'cause
oh,
you're
my
all-
God. Yeah, how
Yeah.
the fuck am I going to open up to this woman? No, I can't. Like, I just can't.
Then I'll never have a chance.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, but you shouldn't think that way. And
Yeah.
I'm fighting myself of thinking that way. And it's just a fucking mess in my brain.
Yeah.
And I can't even be myself when I'm in the fucking room. So needless
No.
to say, that didn't work out. And the second
Right.
one was some dude. And he was like an okay dude, but he just said everything that I've read in a textbook. I'm just like, you're a joke. No offense. Like, you're doing it for the money, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
When I was a kid, I don't remember what the fuck was going on at home. My mom wanted me to talk to someone. And I can remember the experience pretty vividly. Mostly because I wouldn't do it. So she had to bribe me with Final Fantasy VIII
ooh,
for
nice.
PC.
Good bribe.
Yes, very good bribe. So, I mean, I got years out of that game. But I went to that therapist, I think, just one time. And it was fucking so weird. Because even then, I was probably maybe 10. And I remember working him.
Mm-hmm.
I totally fucking worked that conversation because I didn't know where it was going to go, and I didn't know like necessarily what he wanted to hear, but I knew that I was there because my mom wanted to be there, so this person would probably be hearing what I said, or rather my mom would be hearing what I
Yeah.
said through this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I just told the fucking story like that.
Yeah. That's exactly why I have never consciously gone myself, because I'm like, I'm just going to tell them what they want to hear. I'm not going to be real.
Well, you won't get... you can't be a shithead like 10-year-old me.
No. But it's just for me. I don't know. Maybe I should, but the way I see therapy is like, this guy may have like a degree, and well, not may. They probably do, but
He
I
was
just
hoping.
But, yeah.
He is open.
But
it's not slick.
I look. I just look at it and go like, so you're just gonna tell me? I guess the way Slick kind of
Yeah,
his
I
experience.
know what you
That's
mean.
how I feel it's
I
gonna
feel
be.
like-
So I just don't even want to bother.
I feel like you're like me. And maybe you too, actually. If we're going to therapy, we're going to that old dude that put years in and like kind of fell off because he got into some weird shit. not weird like bad shit, just like experimental thinking but he hopped back on because it was proven right, and he lives in like the forest. Like that's the guy we got to see to have our fucking mind altered.
Let's all go become monks.
And or that I've thought about it. I've thought about just I will be open, just changing my cutting my dick off.
My goodness,
snipping the balls, like just getting rid of that all that urge and shit, and just going to be a fucking monk, and just that's it.
I don't think the monks. Cut
I've
their
thought
dicks
about
off.
that. I know, but that would be a personal thing.
You don't have to do
I go to
this.
some dark
hold on.
places, man.
I'm already jacked up. I'm gonna do it.
Doing it, man.
Oh,
no,
shit.
so like, I don't know, man. It's fucked. Like I said a million times.
Yeah. So that whole therapy thing for me, I just remember it being mega uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And honestly, it put me off the whole shit for the rest of my life.
Understandably.
I've never been back, and now as I realize the fucking buttload of problems that I should be dealing with, because someone very, very close to me went to therapy, benefited a fuck ton by it, and then relayed some of that to me, by which I benefited and realized how deep my fucking rabbit hole is.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes sense. Like, I should probably do this too. And I'm just like, nah.
All three of us should go.
I gotta say too, it is how far you want to take it. If you want to do the exercises and you actually really want to change yourself, so it just all goes back to self-reflection, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Therapy is all about self-reflection, looking at your problems, looking at what caused them, eliminating it, kind of thing, going about fixing it, or not fixing them, but like
growing,
adjusting and growing.
So the issue that I realized was most rampant was self-hate.
Oh yeah,
which
man.
is, I mean, it's do a little research on self-hate and both the signs and symptoms of it, and then the lasting effects, and they mirror this shit we're talking about today perfectly. Which is why I can relate to so much of it, which is why I even really considered this topic, because again, like I said, I didn't even consider myself very masculine, let alone toxically masculine. But it's all that shit overlaps.
It's all there.
Yeah, and it's just like an inward violence too, you know. So
well, violence doesn't have to be physical,
right?
Self-hate is. Well, especially today, it's everywhere.
Oh, it's so detrimental.
People
And I just want to hug people who hate themselves. I really do. Like, when I hear it, I just like, fuck.
It's almost like all this shit we talk about is in this big web of shit. You know what I mean? Because it's a self-hate. Like, why do people hate themselves? Well, why did I hate myself? Thinking back, it was just because I wasn't this, I wasn't that, I wasn't that. I was trying to always be that or this, but never me, right? So I was never just being what I was potentially meant to be.
Right.
I was fighting the wave or whatever. But that's kind of like what they teach you, like, oh, this is cool, this is blah, 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 do this, and it just fucking brings people down, because when you're not good at it, you're looked at like you're less of a person.
Well, for sure.
And then that self-hate, then you start doing toxic things to make up for feeling better, right? So it's like, it's just a big web of shit, man. And like, I can't...
Got real hippie for a second.
I know. The amount of toxicity that comes out of that and is everlasting throughout your life, maybe into your adulthood, into the way you raise your kids, into the way you talk to your coworkers, every aspect of your life is just rampant. It's everywhere.
Yeah, man, because I had self-hate beat into me by someone who very obviously hated themselves and still does. Mm-hmm. And now it sucks because it's like my default mode of operating. And I don't wake up like, oh, I hate myself. But it's like,
good morning, world.
When I see people's Instagram posts and they're just like, I'm going to go have a fabulous day because I'm fat and beautiful, whatever. Or, you know, just whatever it might be. I can't get on that level. But that person who got me there was also supposed to be my male role model. Mm-hmm. And it's like, again, just such a strong overlap here. Just the most toxic of masculinity. Everything we just said for all those negative characteristics, Aside from the final one, which is a little bit more definite than those broad concepts, and it's just rape. We'll get to that. But everything else, like that was my childhood, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's hard because when you know it in your mind, like all of this shit is awful. All of this fucking shit is awful. I talk to myself like shit. I treat other people like shit. I'm trying to do better. But like you just wake up like that every day. I guess that's why this topic touches me so much, because I'm just like, this has to go.
Yeah,
this has
go.
to fucking go.
It affects me too, the same way. I wake up, dude, I'm late all the time, and then I'm mad at myself all day for being late. Do you know how terrible that is? But
Absolutely.
I wake up because I fucking hate just I guess where I'm at for where I thought I would be.
Yeah,
and then I look back on all this that I did and all the time I wasted, and like I said, hung over for a year. Like I wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of just everything, and I just wake up every day thinking about that and thinking about what I do and where I'm at and how old I am, and I just am like, fuck. Yeah. It's like defeating, and then the self-hate just starts growing.
Yeah.
All day. So then I go in to whatever I'm doing or go do whatever I'm doing, and I hate doing it, and I'm just like, fuck this. And then I go maybe even get a chance to do what I want to do, and by that time I'm just salty as fuck. I'm like, fuck this. And it just continues, and it's just a toxic fucking
cycle.
Siphon of shit.
I think that's why it's so important to do good things for yourself. Things that you can say with zero evidence on the other side of the scale are positive for you and can still be masculine. I think that's why I kind of wanted to try and dig some of those out. I'll give a very good example. Going to the gym. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows going to the gym, you know, endorphins, whatever.
Sure.
But it's not how happy I feel with runner's high, you know? I'm talking about like when my hands are tearing apart and I'm taking fucking 3 wheels for a ride on a deadlift. Mm-hmm. That feels amazing because I'm like, this is just pure raw strength, and it's a masculine thing. I'm not hurting anyone.
It's the outlet.
It's looking at your progress.
Playing drums. That was my outlet for years. And when that went away, I haven't touched a drum kit in 5 years.
Except for Christmas at my house.
Maybe once or twice. Maybe I'd say cap it at 5 times once a year in the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Slick, I would like you to play for me sometime. I'd like.
I will. I'll be rusty, but
that's okay.
That was such a.
If you ever learn those songs, he'll play for you.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That was such a major part of my life, and it's a physical thing. You're beating a fucking drum. That I didn't realize how much anger I used to get out because I was never angry because I played drums a ton. And I ran and I worked out. Once I took all those things away and replaced it with things I thought were cool and awesome to do because I'm meeting people and blah, blah, blah. And I just started becoming salty and angry.
Your language was interesting when you were talking about the drums. 'Cause you said like, oh, it's a physical thing. I'm beating the drums. I was thinking that as you play the drums, you're creating music.
Well, I am and also maybe doing that. Well, it's a mix.
No, but I think that's a big thing too. Like just because, like, I said it and you go, yeah, well, obviously, but you didn't say it. I don't want to sound like a dick.
Well, I didn't say it because I still create music, and it's still not the same.
For sure, but I mean, like, you need to do that. I feel like I do that in my everyday thing. When I'm doing something, I'm not doing it because it's releasing something from me. It's like I'm gaining something.
Is that masculinity versus toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Creation versus
so like when I'm doing my forging thing, you know, people look at it as a masculine thing. Oh yeah, you're taking hot steel out and you're banging with a hammer.
It is.
I'm looking at it as I'm creating something from something completely different. And that makes me feel good on a whole different level. Yeah, of course there is that like, you know, I don't when I go out there in the morning to do it, I don't feel like an aggression that I need to release. I feel like I'm ready to take on this project and do it.
Okay, now I got to touch on this because I'm still a drummer. I'm going to classify myself as a drummer still. There's a difference in that though, because when you're creating music but you're physically doing it, you're relaying your emotion directly onto your drums.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's more. No offense to black smithing or forging. Is that the correct term? Forging?
It depends on.
Okay,
There's
anyway.
different. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure there's guys who get super emotionally into it and can dedicate, like, if you're doing, like, I'm going to make this the best fucking thing ever.
Sure.
Yeah, 100%. But you got to get there too, right? So, but when I'm writing, I wrote a lot of songs,
Yeah.
right? So every song I wrote, I felt that. And I was like, when I would play, I would relay all what I was going through.
Yeah.
So it was a physical release of emotion to become creative.
No, I know.
guess. Yeah.
I was just touching on your language choice.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all.
So I guess I picked that wording because I'm still creating music, but I'm not doing it in a physical way.
No.
So, yeah.
Well,
that's
I
why
mean,
I said physically beating the drums
Yeah.
to tie into masculinity as well, right?
I see.
Right. So that was, but touching on what Fresh said about the gym, it's almost like primal. It's like, this is where I get my aggression out,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's perfect because I feel the same way after doing chin-ups or whatever when I used to work out and my hands were all ripped, or even playing the drums, my fucking hands would get ripped up. I had calloused hands though after, but I would be like, this is fucking awesome. I'm badass, right? Like, I don't know. There's little things that
See,
are...
and it's good you said that I'm badass. You didn't say I'm badass like. You just this is here, me and now. I am looking at myself and I'm happy with myself.
You're not comparing.
And that's poisonous too.
So, but then there's a difference between...
It can be.
But guys, a lot of guys, I feel like, okay, there's nothing... I got to bring this up because we're talking about toxic masculinity.
Yes.
I've driven truck. Not like semi, but truck.
Trucks.
I've driven trucks.
Crooks.
I can drive a fucking truck. I'll just say that. But...
Into a set of
And
stairs.
it's okay. If you're a guy who owns a truck and you use your truck and you know how to drive your truck and you're not a dick bag with your truck,
You all know what
that's
we're talking
good.
about.
But if you're a guy that the tunnel covers never come off and you take 3 spots up in a fucking Max Milk parking lot and you got the fucking muffler thing going because I don't know why, really. I don't
understand it.
I see
fuck
that's a
that
good
guy.
line. I feel like, the guy who uses their truck doesn't cut people off, doesn't take up, he knows how to drive his truck and park and do all the things with the truck that you need to do, but he's still a masculine guy versus the guy who thinks he's fucking got the biggest balls in the fucking neighborhood.
He's got those balls on his tailgate thing.
For some reason, that example sticks out to me because everybody I say that to.
That's a bruh.
That's a bruh.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, your muffler doesn't have to fucking shatter Guinness World Records for sound. Okay, well, you're cruising down my fucking side street going 80 in your fucking truck, right? You don't need to do that. You can drive a truck modestly. Like, you don't got to be that's a guy that hangs the nuts from the truck.
Yeah. I've sometimes worried about being perceived as douchey, even though I never had a standout vehicle or anything like that, but just because I like my fucking music loud and I'm
me
rapping
too.
along and we got the bass knocking and shit.
Me too.
But I don't give a fuck because I'm in my zone. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's just you. Though, you know what?
Like, you know what's crazy masculine because it's just a sausage fest? Metal. The fucking metal community. And like that's always been like one thing where I've always kept a toe out because I don't know, it's weird. Sure, there's lots of female metal fans, even some female metal artists, but it just
You mean kept the toe out of what? Into the
out of the metal community.
Okay.
Because it just I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hyper aggressive, and usually in a positive way. I could at least make that case, but just there's just a lack of any of the female elements of the world, or not even female, the balancing elements of the world. You know what I mean?
So you go into a mosh pit. I'm going to say like 99.99% of the time you're not going to see females in the mosh pit. They might be on the outside.
That is
but they're not really in
very
there.
accurate
But you go to these mosh pits. These guys are just gorillas of men. Like they're huge dudes.
And you.
And then there's me in there. And this is where, like you said, like where it is kind of like on the aggressive side. But it's also I'm a very small guy when I'm in there, and I don't really feel worried because if I'm going to fall down, these guys are going to pick me up. Like they're not in there to really hurt you. There's a couple of douches, but they're usually taken care of pretty quick. But you're in there to have fun, get a little aggression.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
In a healthy way.
Yeah.
To some
for
good
sure.
to good music and with some decent people.
All right, and the final element of toxic masculinity that kept coming up, and I honestly I don't want to touch it just because it's so straightforward, is just rape.
Oh,
Because obviously that's fucked up, but not even necessarily male on female. A lot it came up a lot talking about prison populations.
Ooh, yeah.
And I mean, enough said, right?
Right.
Just and that brings up all of the other points, dominance, violence, aggression, suppression of emotions, because
Yeah, there's
I think that's like an end all be all toxic
yeah.
male
Yeah.
dominant thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the limit. So it needs to, I think, I don't know, because I'm not a fucking brain dude, but
clearly,
yeah, you need to go down a certain path in life and choose not to correct certain things and look at and view as what you are doing as the correct way to reach that point. And when you are at that point, there's probably no going back.
Well,
You're probably always going to mentally be there. I mean, you can fake it, but
I don't even think it's necessarily got to be that, man. I mean, definitely everything you just said, but also it could just be. I mean, thank God all my friends were female growing up, or I could have been like that, because it could just be someone who didn't have a positive and accessible male role model to teach them how to be
Right.
a person and to be confident in a healthy way. And, you just, you get in a situation and you fucking, because like rapists are bullies. It's all dominance, right?
Yeah.
And that's been studied a lot. Like they don't go like, oh, this isn't just to get your rocks off. Like this is a dominance thing. I'm a better than you scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And that might be it. It might just be that person who's never taught proper healthy expression.
Mine
But
is sociopaths.
that would be-
They're just fucked.
I mean, it would still, by being taught that way, would probably, you would live your life and probably go down that list of all the things,
you're
right?
right,
You
you're
know what
right,
I'm
you're
saying?
right.
So that would set you on that path. And that would be like the catalyst right there. I mean, that would pretty much be the reason you would go through all the things.
So
In that way, I guess.
yeah, for sure. So all those characteristics of shittiness, why? Why do they exist? Why did those ever get framed in with masculinity? Why have men not been able to access their emotions for all of human civilization?
That's hard because like, how far back do you go to start where we're more cognitive? We understood these things. You go back to the Industrial Revolution. The men went to work. They went to the mines. They went to the factories, and then was it the group effort of, oh man, I'm not, my wife today, like, whoa, are you getting emotional, buddy? Like, why is this even happening? So like, I'm just wondering if it was a time of almost like a mass, I don't know, maybe like a group effort where they just like kind of all decided this is how men are going to act from now on.
I think it goes back even further.
Yeah,
I think it goes back to pretty much men being the hunters and women being the mothers. I mean, like in very basic civilization.
See, I thought that myself earlier in the day, but I thought it was more so like a necessity. You know what I mean? Before it was more so like, oh, hey, I want to go hunt.
Not
Fuck
saying,
you.
not saying it was a necessity, and not saying that the women were treated poorly in these civilizations or anything. They just all understood that this is how it was, and they all were cool with it, and that's how it worked, right? So then the views started as society progressed and we got more advanced and things started happening. They kind of contorted being a dominant male, like strong,
yes,
and dominant, and made it more douchey, I guess the word is. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They twisted it.
I'm
Maybe
glad
I
you
started
said that because the conventional roles where to be masculine in a positive way is a very good thing are not necessarily disappearing, but
They're not as prominent.
they're definitely not as prominent. I guess the way to say it would be they are
Evolving.
They are evolving. They are evolving because hunters aren't this is barely a thing anymore, right? And the sensibilities that you needed to be a good hunter 25,000 years ago, well, they've been gone for all of known history, right?
Yeah.
So you're right that those formerly useful and positive characteristics have twisted themselves into these shitty versions because this all came from somewhere.
Can we look at drinking beer for a second? And I'm not saying drinking beer like you're stout, but cans of OV. You know what I'm saying here? So how did
Old
that
Vienna.
become? How did that?
Old vagina.
See, I didn't want to say it.
How did that become a masculine thing?
Drinking beer?
Do you know what I mean? Drinking beer.
That's coming full circle.
Well, I
I don't
gotta
know.
say,
How did it?
Like
So here, okay. So you hunt. Eventually, down the line through progression of technology, alcohol is born now, and now you hunt. And men, they're still the hunters, and they probably cook or something, and they probably are drinking alcohol because alcohol's involved in society now. I'm talking like it always kind of was, but more modern day. You know what I'm saying?
well, modern day, it's a marketing thing.
So then hunting, like you says, goes away, right? It's like not really. It's more of a hobby thing now. Or if you are really caring about your food or whatever.
Where are we in history?
I don't fucking know. In 1940,
Okay. I was just wondering, because
Right.
agriculture and whatnot.
right? Like, we're gonna talk in the 1900s here, because that's when all the biggest terrible shit kind of happened to the world. So then now you're drinking after you're hunting for sport, and drinking is now more the focus. Like, say you get a bunch of guys together, you go to the lodge. We kill a pheasant, then we go back and slam a case of Coors Light, right? Like, you know what I'm
One
saying?
pheasant.
I don't know, though. I'm not a hunter, so I'm talking out of my fucking ass right now. This is just me guessing how drinking beer became manly, right? So it was associated with food, I'm assuming, and food, the
yeah,
males were the getters of the food, is what I'm kind of trying to get to.
that's-
And now
There's
that men bring the bread home, it ain't bringing the bread. You go to work to get the money, and you come home. You don't actually physically do anything, but you
Right,
still
right,
drink
right.
that beer.
So
Right.
only bacon
Right?
should, should
I'm
drink?
with you.
Do you know what I'm
it's
trying to do?
It's a good parallel for those other attributes,
Right.
That
Yeah.
have morphed from when you could be confident, and now you're just being an arrogant or aggressive dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I don't.
with you.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to see the timeline of how that would
Well,
even become a thing, because
it's
it's
so
not even
hard.
like, what are you doing? You're just drinking a fluid.
A friend of mine is very passionate about the robbing of masculinity away from young males in today's society. She has two sons that are like 20 and 19, I think, that ballpark.
Okay.
And her point is that, one, schools are completely not set up for boys, which I kind of balked at, because I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, right? She's got a point. Boys and girls don't learn differently, especially at that young age where all you are is your biology. You haven't been programmed yet. This is very interesting to me. Her beef is that you need to teach those boys how to be men, how to be good and productive men. And instead, you just wag a finger at them and say no. And every time they rise up again, you say no, and you say no. And that creates toxic masculinity, because
The
you are
rebellion.
the rebellion for sure, but suppression.
Yeah.
That is suppressing those
yeah.
impulses of maleness, whatever they might be, in a very young boy, and turning them into negatives when they don't have to be.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a
so
very good point. No, and that relates.
she's a very smart woman.
It relates to like the education topic in a way, and not so much of what's in the curriculum, but how, like you said, punishment, or just how you talk to people, how you
Right.
talk to kids at that young of an age. You can't just suppress it. It's got to be talked about. And no, you don't do this, but you can take it like this.
It's
kind of
nurtured,
Right.
but
Yeah, nurture it.
It's the thing though. It's they've blurred the line between masculinity and toxic masculinity. It seems that we're going towards a way of masculinity is
Is
toxic.
just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, and-
exactly. That's why I
and-
wanted to separate those from the start.
Yeah. With my very funny thing of what somebody believed the original definition.
Having a penis means you are shit.
Yeah, but it seems in not such an aggressive, blatant way. It seems to be what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just saying that you can't do those things because they're negative.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Slick.
No, I was just going to touch and say, I also don't think people realize how much environment has a play on your decisions to do what you think makes you masculine, right? Especially growing up when you're just being exposed to all these things for the first time and seeing how they affect you. Like when I drinking, we'll use again. When I drank for the first time, for like the first 3 years, I fucking loved it because it was new.
Right.
Then it just became a thing, right?
But
so when you're that young and you're exposed to all these things like pop culture, movies, anything like that, yeah, it's fake, and you know it's fake, and it's for entertainment. Maybe you don't. I don't know, but it's still gonna trigger something in your head because like that guy's cool.
Well, you want to emulate it.
You want to emulate it because it's better than your life.
Yeah.
It's the constant comparison thing.
It's
right?
like more so not necessarily it's better than your life, but at a young age, like
more exciting. Or
yeah,
something.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, nuts, buddy. Don't
But
leave
like-
me hanging.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Wow.
For me
What a
though, I
bitch.
can remember one of the first manly things I was taught was shaking hands. I can remember my dad saying to me,
You are all about this fucking handshake.
I know,
dog.
but that was the beginning for me. But I can remember my dad saying, because my dad introduced me to his friends. Oh, this is my son, and it's like you shake their hand and you make eye contact, going, obviously not a douche way. I'm 5, but you go, nice to meet you. Because I know maybe my dad's mentality was, you don't cower down, but it just to me it was a respect thing, and I think that's a big thing. Of what I think masculinity is respect.
Interesting.
Okay.
I like that. So there's lasting effects through society of toxic masculinity. The things to do with the prison population, how that creates. Unfortunately, the criminal world is just insanely full of this, and it seems a little self-evident. Like, of course, they're all fucked up. It doesn't have to be. I mean, sure, man, you sell drugs. You don't have to beat women too.
Yeah, like it doesn't go hand, but maybe it does. Going down that path, you get desensitized, so bigger things start bothering you less.
I suppose, man.
I don't know. It's hard to say because I never sold drugs or hit a woman, so I never went down that path. I can't talk. Yeah.
But anyway, where they turn up in society, they always turn up together.
Yeah.
And where I'm more concerned, in a selfish way, is just what all of these effects do to you inside. Like I was talking about earlier, brain-body connection. I mean, statistically, those of us who have been strongly affected by that kind of mentality are more likely to get fucking STDs. You're going to go gray and bald sooner, like cancer, heart disease, even some weirdly specific diseases too. Cirrhosis of the liver. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but it looks gross on paper.
Overconsumption of alcohol leads to sclerosis of the liver.
There you go, Slick, right with your point of why the fuck is it tied to drinking.
There you go.
Yeah, so that sort of thing. There's just so many physiological issues that get wrapped up in this fucking shitty mental societal game. What the fuck can we do about it? I mean, we can personally work on ourselves. Okay, good. Then what?
Like you're talking. I think one of
in
the
a greater
first,
sense, but like, what's something we could take into tomorrow?
like right away.
Yeah.
It'd be just ignore mainstream media.
Well, okay.
Like I'm sorry to say, even some of the shit I listen to, but I mean, I'm at that level where I know it's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But for the people that don't, it's fucking really bad. And I don't. It's weird because I never thought that before. I didn't care, like it's all fake and stuff. But going through what I just
Are you talking about
looking
rap
back-
music?
Rap music, just
Rap
movies,
music is really bad.
a bunch of shit, man. Like this shit ain't real, but some people think it is, and some people want it to be, and it's having these effects on people. But
We normalize it by our consumption
Yes.
of it, even if you know it's fake. It's that thing you
it's
sent me the other
normalized.
day.
It's art.
listening to music about selling drugs and killing people on the way to my 9 to 5. Yeah, sure, ha. But you wouldn't blink at someone saying that to you because you've brought so much of that into your own brain.
Yeah, and it's messed up.
For me, I've complained to my girlfriend about some of the young men that I work with, and they'll go on,
They
drinking.
were being mean to me.
Well, but they'll be like, oh yeah, drinking. And, like these kids are like straight up kids. They're 18. Like they're actually still in high school, and they're talking about, oh yeah, prom this, girls that, drinking that. And I complained to her, and I said, like, oh God, it's so freaking annoying. And she said, well, why don't you step up? I said, what do you mean, step up? She was like, just talk to him. Talk to him about how you say in a way that doesn't, say you're shaking a finger at him, but say like, man, you don't need to act like that. And I thought about it, and then it really kind of came home to me because I'm thinking, why the hell not? And I started doing it at work, and it's not always about just drinking and stuff like that. Like one of the guys, it's his first job, and we talk, I'm real with these guys, and that's a big thing too. Like I think a lot of it is level with these people. Don't talk down to them because then they're always gonna they're gonna want to try and fight back. You're level with them, treat them as an equal.
Relate to them.
They'll open up, and then you can kind of maybe break down those walls. But nothing about drugs and sex for the first part. He asked me. He goes, hey, what's a lot of money to lose off your check? I go, what do you mean? He goes, taxes. And we had this brief conversation about how money might work for him and stuff like that. But instead of him just going, oh, fuck, not making enough money, boo, and just leaving it and being angry and sour about it, I had a little talk with him. And then also this particular person.
So you just want to make a good connection and lead by example.
Yeah, and he had no problem opening to me about his lack of sexual prowess. And he's 18, and he was saying, he goes,
relate.
Well, he says to me, he goes, when's a good time? I go, when you're ready, man. Like you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to be the guy who's got the biggest numbers and blah 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 blah. Because there's a couple guys who do that. They're oh man, I banged this chick this week, and I'm thinking to myself, you're a fucking liar. But I just go, oh okay, you're kind of lost to me. Like it's a little too far gone for some of these guys. But some of them, I say like it's not a competition, man. The only person you're competing with is yourself. And if you're not happy looking at it by yourself, then don't fucking do it.
That's it. But don't be unrealistic with the dude either. Like there's a line where it gets weird.
What do you mean?
I'm not saying like you need to have lost your V card by a certain age or anything.
No.
But like there's a line where it eventually becomes debilitating and you start turning into Steve Carell.
Oh no, for sure. But like I with the guy, I maybe I didn't do it enough for him. But I just say like when you're ready, man, you'll know it.
I hope you wouldn't do that much for him.
Well, here, let me help you out. But the way she said, that's how I feel that I want to give back. I'm not saying I'm the pinnacle of how a man should be, but I think with what I know and how I feel.
So lead by wisdom, pretty much.
Yeah, no, that's good, Mickey. Popette for the win.
And I have no problem doing it now. When I hear it at work, I don't trounce in there and go like, what the fuck are you saying? You can't say shit like that. I go, oh, come on. I even had 2 women complaining about immigrants and how they go like, oh, they take all our money. I said, fun fact, 7% of the immigrants that came to Windsor needed government assistance. I said it in a nice way. And they said, oh. I'm like, yeah, like it's not all black and white for you people.
That's where you're just such a much better person than me, because I would have used that statistic, but I also would have destroyed
it down their fucking throats. But so that's what I've taken. I've taken from my girlfriend to, as I become better, help people see things a little bit differently.
That's awesome. That's mega positive. I don't have shit compared to that.
What do you got?
I don't really have much, man, because like I said, I'm still puzzling this out. I mean, I said, it's got to go.
Yeah.
It's got to go.
Well, and that's a good first start.
But I think for me, what needs to be done personally and internally, and then on a broader sense, is we need to restore positivity to the definition of masculine.
Yeah.
I suppose. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm going to say my final thought on it.
That was like a Canadian exchange.
I know,
you go.
No, you go. Politely.
Just for those of you
insist.
who are just listening didn't see, it was a head nod. No, head nod.
So to my final thought on what can be done is just like you said, it's got to go. and we have to restore the positivity. But by doing that, you have to pretty much almost eliminate the words for a bit and work on just being people, because the world is becoming more diverse, and it always will become more diverse, especially with technology and everything that happens in our little bubble. It'll just keep changing. And you can't really look at these things as masculinity or
Femininity.
is it femininity? Is the word?
Femininity.
Femininity.
Yeah, you just gotta have to look at it as people traits, and what they like. If I want to wear a fucking bright pink shirt every day, but I'm just a dude.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be looked at as femininity or whatever.
I've always worn pink.
So have I. I've been fine with it because I never looked at it like that. Like, oh, you gotta wear black every day because I'm a man or whatever. You know what I mean?
Did you know that whole blue and pink thing that only came up in like the 30s?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's
pink used to be a
complete
masculine color.
bullshit.
It was a
Pink was
working
the
man's
masculine
color.
color.
But on the wearing thing though, when Fresh first met me, my outside clothes, my not work clothes, I was button down shirts and vests.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I would wear that all through fucking summer. No shorts, but I wore that confidently. And like, this is just how I like to dress smartly because it makes me feel good.
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
You know what? I will.
Dad mode on.
Well, no, this is just comfortable. But I've actually been able to, through actually my girlfriend again, she said, like, why do you always got to dress up nice? I go, because I like it. She's like, you don't feel this, that, next time. I said, oh, well, maybe. She goes, try just, relax a little bit. And I have, and I feel great. But I still own it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll
of course.
Do you feel more confident now?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Because I felt
Interesting.
to a degree, though, like I said, I was confident wearing the button-down thing. I
Yeah.
felt like I had to, though. There's a little part of me that going, like, I can't leave the house if I don't look smart. Smartly. Not like intelligent smart, just smartly.
Yeah.
But now
Okay,
I can go out.
Gotta look smartly.
I can go out in this, like shorts and a button-up
use that word,
T-shirt. Yeah. And people go like, oh, that's not the usual Mickey wear from before. I go, yeah, this is just a little bit different, and I like it. I'm comfortable.
Oh yeah.
I think we have a friend who definitely derives all his confidence from his ability to dress.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Love you, man. So yeah, get rid of the words. Work on becoming just fucking better people in general and treating people how. There shouldn't really be segregation anymore.
Finger
Like, let's
pointing.
fucking grow up in all aspects of female and male, right? Like, just like the whole pay thing. Like, I don't even understand. Just pay people what they're worth, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't base it on if they have a penis or vagina. Like, that's just stupid.
Yeah, what's their work like?
Like, what's their work like?
Yeah.
That's a fucking business, right?
I think one of the most interesting things about that is how female dominated one of the counterpoints to it is while it's actually got more to do with the fields that women choose to enter as opposed to men. But when you look at shit like education, overwhelmingly dominated by women, yet most schools have a male principal.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck does that
That's
say?
fucked
Yeah.
up,
That's
right?
some bullshit right there.
Yeah. So
That's a whole.
it's almost
other
like a huge
conversation.
dude.
Yeah.
It's like a society restructure that needs to be done. Like, we got to really actually look at shit and be like, are we doing this right? Because I don't know if we are. The shit that, I mean, I get it's freedom, but the stuff that's super popular is kind of actually unsettling, and it's so negative in the way that negativity dominates even the news. It dominates most of every day in at least North America's life. You know what I'm saying? And it's tied to masculinity. A
Yeah,
lot of it,
yeah.
man.
I
Like,
can't
and
say
it's,
you're wrong.
And it's kind of just like, yeah, that's just how the world is. But it's like,
Oh,
what the
just the
fuck?
way it is, boys.
You know, yeah, boys will be boys. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, are we doing it right? Like, there's got to be a kind of a societal restructuring, I think, going down.
And I think it's coming. I think it's happening.
It has
I think
to
it is.
because people are getting a little pissed.
And I think if you want to see that restructuring in action, you need to look at none other than Terry Crews.
Look at Terry
Terry
Crews.
The
Motherfucking
Crews.
man. Is
Yo,
motherfucking
shout out
like
Terry Crews, man.
bad? Can we? No, I'm never
Con-
gonna stop saying
contextual.
motherfucking.
Like we can just swear. We're whatever. Motherfucking Terry
Honestly,
Crews.
when I
he's
hear-
he's the fucking man.
He is.
When
a
I
fucking
hear
man.
motherfucker, I don't even hear two different words. I feel it's just a phrase
No,
of
motherfucker.
Yeah,
like
motherfucker.
an extra level of fucker. I don't know.
Anyway,
I've separated the two words and their different meanings.
All right. Any final thoughts on this one?
final
boys?
thoughts. It's gotta be done, and the where to start, if you care, I guess, is to look at yourself.
Look at yourself.
Make the changes that need to be changed, and then maybe try to help somebody else if they are kind of going through it as well. But yeah,
If any of this episode made you say, "Well, I don't do that," shut the fuck up and look at yourself.
like for real, look at yourself, like for reals,
yeah, hard.
like you've never done before. But so that's the final thought: is change, even on a big scale, starts little. So
No doubt.
that's all you gotta do. That's my final thought. But it gotta go.
Mickey.
Just be good. Look at what it. No, seriously. just be good.
I love
Just be good. Like if you have to look at something and go, I'm going to get upset about this, but I'm going to do it anyways, or on any level of negativity, you know it's there. You know what you're doing is negative. Mm-hmm. Be bigger than yourself. Just it's so apparent.
Control your emotions instead of reacting negatively. At least try to put a semi-positive spin on it or a learning experience.
It's
that's
it's
key.
like they
That's
told us
key.
when we were kids. Treat others like you want to be treated. It's simple.
I could disassemble that, but I'm gonna let your point stand for now.
Well, it's the spirit of the point.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. Well, you hear first from the Pope. Treat others how you want to be treated.
Pope to Pope.
And if you've got any suggestions for how to combat toxic masculinity, personal experiences, horror stories, please feel free to share them. If you want us to share them, we'd be willing to do so. If you want that put out there, just throw us at the Gmail or the Instagram, whatever. My personal suggestion for combating toxic masculinity is to just be more feminine.
Be more feminine. Cry. I don't like that. I cry a lot. I will openly say that I cry a lot, and I don't like how that's tied with fucking being feminist. They're not feminist. Oh my god, being
Feminine.
feminine. Sorry.
That was actually my piss take on the topic because that's the whole fucking point. Right? That was the whole last 2 hours summed up there. The fact that so many people are going to balk at that and go, I'm not going to be fucking feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, anyway, deal with your emotions, men and women. Help men deal with their fucking emotions.
And men, be bros, not bros.
Yes. So, to my bros, peace out.
Cheers, everybody.
Hey y'all, thanks for attending the shit show. We appreciate your time, your attention, and of course your guacamole recipes. We are active on Instagram, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Everything at Fresh Slick and Mick, all one word. That's Fresh Slick AND Mick. To listen to more explicit douchebaggery and brodification of your favorite high intellectual pursuits, we are on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and Google Play under Fresh Slick and Mick. Respect the Oxford comma. And for all inquiries, suggestions, features, and hate mail, we're at freshslickandmick@gmail.com. We have been and will continue to be Mitchy Slick, Pope Mickey the First, and I am Jay Fresh. This is Fresh Slick and Mick. Peace out, y'all.